space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Starship Confidence. It's 1-year mission to train the next generation of Starfleet to seek out new life and new civilizations to help all go where none has gone before.
Good work, Sal, but that's actually...
Good job, Sal. And welcome back, one and all, to Star Trek Ascendance.
Thanks.
I am your Game Master, August Schmid, and with me, as always, this time of the week,
That's what
it's
I heard.
the wonderful members of the Strike Team. Say hello, Strike Team.
Hello,
Good to see you
Strike
again.
Team.
Good
Did
to
you
see you
say
again.
Game Master? Because that's what we
I
heard.
am the Game Master. Master of the
Then I
Games.
must
No, it's like
fight
the
for the
unicorn
title.
one shot.
The Unicorn, Brutus the Gay Unicorn, the leader of the 5th layer of hell.
Oh my gosh.
Canon.
In our superhero campaign, we had to fight a unicorn. Brutus the unicorn, the gay...
Yeah, listen in on some of our other stuff we do here on the Nat 13.
Because he's like, "Wow, 'cause the meaning
But
of
last
change
we saw, and of course, throughout this campaign, Strike Team
It's like...
on the planet Arabi, making your way through these desert markets, finding a vendor to sell you tritanium, but during the battle, Space Marines, who apparently do not want the tritanium sold, attacked you all, and Tayla, Dahina's older sister, escaped and absconded with over 1 million credits of your hard-earned 1 cash. As you were all feeling rather annoyed, spending some clever money, though, on a fusion reaction chamber and some other just modifications to your ship to have a cloaking device on the Shagarats, traveling back 12 hours in time, you were able to cloak and watch the fight, and when Tayla ran, using the Shagarats, immediately transport her onto the ship, put her in cuffs, grab the money, and get ready on your merry way. And this is where we will jump into tonight's
She
campaign.
got
As
gongoozled
as
She did.
by the gongoozle.
Shale, you guys now have all of this information. Being here on the Shagarats, you have 10 pounds of tritanium.
I eat it.
No!
Just start like shoveling it in your mouth as fast as you can.
I have
No,
a
I
spray
pass.
bottle.
I like the moisture.
As you are all this like awkward standoff. So this was something I think actually was said technically like off cam or just off audio. When you have this information, you could now, with very little tritanium needed, make like a data pad, like shall we call it a spreadsheet maybe, to send to McTavish. Yes, to Hina.
Before we do anything else with time travel,
Mm-hmm.
I have way too much. Like it's too much.
Just a list. I've got a lot.
I made a lot.
I've got a list. No, that's awesome. I love it.
I need to do some experiments.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's before more. Yes, let's do some experimenting. Is there anything specifically you
Yes.
want to do, like for it? Yeah.
Yes,
let's-
I have a list of.
Oh,
Your
excellent,
sentence
okay.
Of, like before you finish your sentence, like on the tritanium, I was like raising your hand, putting it down.
So, yeah, let's go through some of these experiments because that is something that is
Not a more. Yeah. No.
very smart to do.
On the
Of like,
titanium.
we did like a, shall we say, a spur of the moment jump of like, let's use some ounces, go back in time. Now let's see what it really does.
I need to use some rats. I need some rats.
There's just a squirming mass of rats.
Thank you. I'm gonna put them in a container.
It's like a triple, but not.
No.
It's a
like
bit
a
of a
rat
rat
king,
king at
all
this
their
point. Yeah, they've
tails.
started. The tails have started. To,
It's like an Ouroboros.
yeah, like it's honestly.
Time travel did a little bit too. I just need one for the first experiment.
Okay.
Okay.
You know.
So, obviously, there's gonna be some math needed to do this
Mhm.
that me, Eli, cannot do, but Dahina should be able to do it. I want to see if we can travel to the future with it.
Yeah.
So I want to try to take a rat and just do some math
Mhm.
and see. The goal is to try
Yeah.
to send him 1 hour in the future, put like a little stopwatch on him, like in Back to the Future where they put the little watch
Yeah.
on
the dog, like if
Yeah.
we can send him to the future, is right now you've proven that the fission of tritanium, an ounce to volume area can send entities back in time. Can we do the same going forward? I
so
will
I
say
need
this.
to obviously adjust the amount for one rat, so I don't want to waste a lot. I want
Exactly.
to use as little as possible.
A humanoid creature uses about an ounce to travel 12 hours back in time. And of course, you don't want to spend like 12 hours waiting for a rat. It's like, let's do like a minute. You'll vary back to the future.
I have an
Go
idea,
ahead.
so
What I will say is, you can
normally
make
we would
me.
name the rats 1, 2, 3 experiment number, right? Can we name them Sa'al 1, Sa'al 2,
Why?
and so forth?
Is there a point?
I believe it would be
I think
humorous.
I would get confused.
Well, you're
Sal 4
Sal
went to the
Hero.
future. Sal went to the future 4 times.
It was a
There's only
suggestion.
one cell.
Yeah.
There is
Just
only
start
one
eating the
cell.
experiment.
Number
There
one.
can
I'm
only be
eating the
one.
experiment.
Yeah. Here we
Need
go.
a new rat.
There will be one. Go ahead. You're gonna make me. This will be an intelligence check, more or less to set up the experiment. Of okay, let's have a.
To like do the math.
Yeah, doing the math, getting all the subject matter ready. Let's find a control. So put a rat in a cage with no time travel.
Oh, can I give guidance?
Oh yes, you can give guidance,
So
and
that's gonna be
Black
D4
Opal
also.
also being assigned to. You can also give the help action.
Yeah, that's
if you
what I
want.
was planning to do with like
doing math.
doing the biology of the rats and like
Smart.
oh yeah, like this is its age and then
Taking
being able to
genetic
tell
markers of
Really
here's the
well.
current
D&D.
blood pressure,
Math.
brain waves.
current
Um,
age,
Mhm.
and also seeing if the time travel has some effects.
Checking, the chronological meters of like this is how the blood work shows
So
now.
you said plus 1d4.
Plus 1d4
Or no, not for the help action, for guidance.
for guidance.
right.
Because then Black Opal is going to give you a help action.
Or you can be
Uh,
so cool again.
So let's get the first number though.
I'm at 27.
27. So Black Opal's gonna give you a help action, just in that like he'll take care of like the actual like biology of the rat, so that you can focus more on the math. So go ahead, roll, and you'll take the higher of the 2 d20s.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah.
I'll redo all my math.
Yeah.
Okay, my first one was high.
First one. Okay.
So
So
that's
stick with 27.
23 total.
23 total. As you guys
Did you have the
watch,
I plus d4.
plus d4.
Yes. I did
Yes. So, on a 23, someone is cursing your dice, Shane, though.
Who?
Someone in a Twitch chat says, may all your dice be
Hunter.
cursed, Shane. Yes.
And it's not a taco; it's a cookie.
It's a cookie.
My,
You
my,
take
my roommate.
the
My
rats.
roommate.
Black Opal, you
I
help.
just want one rat.
It's well, and it's you get one rat, but Black Opal started like let's get some more,
Oh,
like starting to
right.
take
For you.
multiple.
Rat.
For me, listen, this rat doesn't look genetically great for testing, so I better eat this one.
I got a 15.
So he's missing one toe?
As taking all of the fine tune, and then basically like you sending on a data pad over to Val, and that like here, check my work. This is where then I will ask,
Oh.
what's the word I want to
I have
use?
a gluten garden.
Yeah.
We went to McDonald's, so I got a tiny fry.
If
Sorry, I didn't mean
you
to-
are
Okay, I won't be your
sending
mom
a
and tell
rat
you that you're
back
sick.
in time, what you guys know
Oh,
is
no, I know I'm stupid.
pure nuclear fission. Just the idea of if we take the substance and split it, the reaction happens. This is where you can say, how do you want to try to send it in the future? Because you've done all the math, like everything should be working, but what's going to be the difference, so to speak, of like if we're just splitting it, sends us back. Do you want to try
He
X,
was
Y,
the
Z.
scientist, not me.
I will say on a 23, there's a couple things you could try. Like, I'll give you kind of this list. The first option, if we're just being very base, I shouldn't say scientific, but, just like, let's lay it out. Is there a way to perform fusion? Do we take some of the energy radiation and combine to create the element? Do we then...
Different kind of fusion.
Different kind of fusion. Gem fusion is technically different because that is happening on a DNA-based level rather than an
Well, what
atomic
would it need
level.
to be fused with?
Well, that's the key. Is fusion would have to occur. Is what is left is an outpouring of energy, and from what you know, tachyon particles, right? This very time travel kind of based particle that is what we would call the dust residue. So it's the idea of, is there a way to gather tachyon particles and fuse back tritanium? Is that something that could make it the same? Now, that's just one option, and that's where you guys could deliberately say, ooh, how do we want to try that? A second option on 23 is there is something to be said of trying how you split the atom, so to speak. Are you, because technically the fusion that was happening, the kind of lab you set up was, we're going to superheat it, introduce a particle, and just fine cut through the atoms. There are other ways to perform nuclear fission. Again, high intensive superheating would also do that. For example, if you look at, a star, right, it's just so hot that it is just producing off energy just because of how dense and hot it is. That is a way to do it. It's like, so instead of just cutting it, let's try just literally smooshing it, or superheating, densify until it explodes. Or the third option out of all this is, if you do kind of like the basic, like there is a 0.015 ounce that we're using for this rat, which we know will send it to the future or to the past, which is like, because that's what we did. Do we do the same thing and just see if another rat appears for us, if that makes sense? Because if you were to send a rat, if you decide like, ooh, let's send a rat back in time, in theory a second rat's about to appear in this little cage, right?
You're the one who makes things happen. Wish for a rat.
Yeah, I can. Say it out loud.
Just do the thing.
I want a rat.
No rat appears.
I'm going to sniff it out.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. It's that video,
Sounds
Mom,
like
I
Fort
smell
Boyard.
some.
So wait, what?
I smell some.
It's the idea of,
Did the
if
third
we
one?
can predestine, like, let's send a rat back in time, will that
Okay.
give us a rat now? It's
Well,
worth-
that was a natural 20
A natural 20.
plus
Now,
whatever my perception is.
the
which is
nat
something.
20 is already really good.
You smell tacky on
Is-
purpose.
You smell the universe. It's more or less,
Smells
So
like
Al
apples.
smells the
If-
universe.
you have set this course. If you have
It's a
agreed
26.
upon, 26, that's insane. I want a rat. We will send a rat back in time for me to eat.
Mm.
This will happen. On a natural 20, you know two things, I will say. Because this almost involves a bit of insight.
Which I
One,
can- pretty good at insight too.
your passive is like already the 20. It's insane.
Yes.
You know a rat would have been sent back in time.
How far back did we send it?
I said a minute. It's at like, let's practice on the minute markers. So
I
there
remember
should be
rat
a
from my childhood.
second rat here. Because it's not, it's going to prove something to you. Because even if we have decided on sending back a rat in time, that rat did nothing to change the present.
So where is
The rat, Sal, on a natural 20,
he? Is he?
is the rat in the cage.
Mm.
That's the rat that has been sent back in time.
Does it look younger? A minute younger?
Is what I will say is,
It'd be a
you
minute
can
older.
ask everyone to check. It would technically be a minute older, because it would already have lived a minute, gone back, and
So
somehow.
we found the rat? I'm confused. Say it again.
So what will happen
Time
is,
Yeah.
Sal,
Red's
you
right
can
there.
show time travel has occurred, but not yet. Shane or Black Opal, checking the rats, the blood particles. This rat is a minute older, meaning at some point it was sent back in time. No, you're good.
No.
This is time travel is very confusing in the idea
So
of
it
this is
Wait,
a
where did we get this rat? The current rat that is a minute older. Where did we find him?
Same rat.
It's the
Just
same
in
rat.
about, say,
So,
a minute from now, we're going to send it
we
back.
sent it back,
Where'd he go?
but because it's the same rat,
I pressed the time travel button
you
on the
Yeah.
rat.
Dahina, you watch the rat goes back in time and is gone.
Okay.
Now here's what's happening. You have just created a bit of a paradox. This is something important to know.
I have the whiteboard and I'm
Three, a
slowly
black
writing
hole,
paradox.
No,
Paradox.
right. It's you took a rat, you
Paradox.
decided to send it back in time. But this rat in fact, with being very, very generously and nice, did nothing to affect any history. There was no time altered. There was no major events changed.
There was no rat.
Therefore, that
so he
rat,
hasn't appeared again?
that rat is constantly traveling from point A back to point B, and so on and so forth.
So it's
As
in
starting
loop.
point A to once it hits point B, Sal hits the button, the rat goes back to point A, point B. It is forever in that loop at that period of time.
So, like a separate timeline kind of a thing.
Do we need
Just
a
in like a
whiteboard?
little cave.
Exactly.
I'm so lost.
You're
dude.
good.
I think
Okay,
You're good.
so there's like a whole timeline that just lives in this little rat cage.
Mm-hmm. There's now a timeline here because nothing changed. We are going to introduce, and this is something I personally have like worked on in classes, talked about with friends and physicists. If you know Ty Solovson, shout out.
Tice is the smart
Is-
one.
Well,
Joking.
it is a theory or something. If we call, we are going to akin time to a literal stream of water. Time is constantly moving. It is a force of energy. We know this because right now, I am not currently introducing this session. It has happened. Time moves, right? It is a fourth dimension, however we want to think about it. It has already pushed forward. Now, while we call time a stream, is this. It is constantly flowing. It's hard to imagine what that means, but for our perception of, well, gravity drags it downward, that is what we would call the essence of time. Time will constantly move in a direction. It's almost impossible to change that. There's a lot of shows that will make fun of it as, oh, you've done too many time travels, you've created paradox and time is collapsing. That actually can't happen. That's as if saying, oh no, you somehow blew up too many bombs and gravity has stopped working. How? Like, and I know we say this in a campaign of science fiction, but it is that concept of it's very hard to just stop time from happening ever. When you sent the rat down the stream, you see the stream of water, stream of time. What we did is we
His little
placed
floaties on his arms.
a rock in the river. That is something where we have manipulated time to a rock has been put into the water, and so the water's going to act differently to an extent. But what happened is the rock we put in was like a pebble. Meaning the water displaced the stream. If we were to make a stream, it's just a tiny little curve because even though we pushed the water, not enough of it was pushed, and so the water is
Create
just
a new
pushed back
timeline.
in.
We're still in the same timeline. There's no extra timeline made. It's just
Mhm.
what this bubble.
physically happened to the rat?
The rat is now stuck in that little curve.
He's stuck in the
Because-
So he doesn't physically exist
So we are
on our
moving.
plane of existence
Nope.
anymore.
We are moving, and the rat is now stuck in that
Mm.
loop.
Because, for better or for
It's
worse, that
rotating.
rat really could not do
So the
anything
rat-
wild enough to change a timeline, to cause itself to make an effect. Therefore, it doesn't exist. Now, if we were to replace the rat with, say, Black Opal, if in this example we sent Black Opal back in time, Black Opal is a highly intelligent creature who, like, has, you know, powers and abilities, right? You're a species with more to you than just a common rodent. If we sent Black Opal back in time, if we put his rock in the river, no pun intended,
Ah,
the stream created is going to immediately cause more ripples, right? We're diverting the water more. And if we do it enough, Black Opal's not going to get left behind. He's not going to be caught in this time loop because Black Opal can do more to a time stream to affect it than just simply being in the same place and then getting caught in a loop of, well, now we're going to send
it's
him
almost
back.
like the pebble did not have enough strength to it to continue with the current, and now it is stuck in the riverbank. The Black Opal is able to stand in the river and move.
Exactly.
with-
Now, we'll bring in a bit of the Star Trek lore. When the Enterprise went back to the 21st century, they got two whales to bring... 20th century, excuse me, I keep making that mistake. They
we
went back
like
to the
accuracy here in At 13.
20th century. They brought back the whales. That was a huge rock placed. Meaning, the whales are completely displaced. They're causing, in our time, this whole new phenomenon. They're not gone from time and existence, even though maybe the whales themselves are just more simple animal creatures. We love them, they're important, but they're not in of themselves able to really change much. But we are.
their situation of the fact that we put the whales back where we needed it, right?
has created a timeline. It has diverted the stream of water from an original course, and we are now in this stream.
So shenanery is like throwing as many boulders as we can into the stream.
In essence, yes. Because
to make so many that Khan doesn't
like
know
we
what
know
is.
in our ecosystem, erosion's constantly happening. Rocks and trees fall in all the time, and they push our water around. They change it. The same is to be said for time. Time can't ever be perfectly perfect. People do things that change the course of human events without even realizing. Chocolate or vanilla ice cream. Well, if you take chocolate, it might set you down the path to becoming the president of the United States. Whereas if you have vanilla, you might just really like vanilla, but unfortunately, you find out you're allergic to vanilla and it kills you. A
It's the whole,
small
like, how
effect,
Gerard
but
Way
no one
was-
could ever test
Yeah.
that.
Gerard Way witnessing the two towers fall on his way
In
to
our
pitch a
timeline.
show to Nickelodeon, then goes, no, I want to make a band. With that, then someone writes a book, Twilight, which then creates the book 50 Shades of Grey. Which,
That is a bunch of small rocks in the river that have created and pushed the river to make this new shape, right? Now, here's what I will say.
What show
There's
is he gonna pitch to Nickelodeon though?
Oh, it was going to be an animated children's show. He was in
There
Denver.
is a way to like further test this and like prove, shall we say, this time stream theory.
Angst.
You guys sent a rat back in time, or rather, you made the conscious choice of we're gonna send a rat back, but because you were experimenting, you just simply let it happen. The rat stayed in this loop forever. Nothing happened. It is now caught because it was sent in such a small way and didn't have enough time to change the course of human events.
Human.
Thank you for
I'm
correcting me.
joking.
No,
Hey.
to change the course of the galaxy's history. I think that's a better way to put it. That being said, you could then introduce a variable. If you send a rat back in time, but one of you chooses to interact with it,
I'm going to eat the rat.
right? Now here's what I'll say. As a group, do you want to try a second rat, sending it back a minute in time, and see what happens?
Should we?
Yes, I will eat it.
Eat it, but leave half of it out of your mouth.
Okay,
So we
just-
know.
For the purposes of the experiment,
Mhm.
perhaps it would be better to just paint a section of its fur or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
The
actually.
second you say that, Dahina, all of you watch. In the cage, a second
Happy
rat has
rat.
appeared with a tiny little smiley face painted on the butt.
Okay, so now do we have to do that in 1 minute?
Well, no, because
It's happening.
we already did it.
It's basically like our
So
conscious
now
is
we just
transferring
have to
the
send the
most
rat back
stable
because
rock.
we've already painted it.
Yeah, so now we just send it
So
back.
who painted it?
We did.
Exactly. That is a common paradox of time of then who painted it. You made the decision. It has created somewhere in the time stream. There is a rock that was placed by us, but because we are simply choosing to enact with the rock instead of us placing a rock, it's just going to stay in the stream forever. And I will say, after a
Does that
minute
then
passes,
pros the question of, are there multiverses?
exactly. I will say, after a minute passes, of course, we can take the rat with the smiley face painted on its butt. We send it back, and continues going.
Do we now have one less rat than we started with?
You don't. Or
Then
well,
where
no,
did this
so,
rat
so
come from?
you do. Sorry, excuse me. You do. You do. Who is he? What the fuck are you? The original rat you started with did disappear because it was let's send this rat back in time, but by sending him
This
back
rat
in
is
time
gone.
and
If you like
not
that,
doing
good.
anything to him,
So much.
the
Sorry.
rat number 1 is forever gone.
Rat number 1 forever
Ever
gone.
gone.
So this is rat number 2.
Rat number 2.
With the pink-
Rat number
Where
2
did he originate?
from you guys. This was like Black Opal said, here's rat number 2, put him in the cage, and while you watched, a twin of rat number 2, but with smiley face butt, showed up, but then you sent smiley face butt back in time.
Then what happened to the one that wasn't painted?
The one that's painted is still here.
See,
Because
right
this was the one that could have become
Oh,
smiley face
come
butt,
on.
but a different
We're also
timeline.
dealing with minute intervals, which I believe is, I wouldn't say confusion, but it's more of it's throwing us off our own guard.
Well, and this is important because
Wait a second. So the sent rat 1 back.
I knew this was going to happen. That's why I'm like, there's a lot you guys can ask questions about, experiment with, and figure out the rules.
I have an idea.
So has Khan used
Rat
time
number
travel? Okay, wait a second. I'm making notes. So we decided to send rat 2 back and paint it. When we decided
Rat number 1.
No, that was rat 2.
Yeah.
Rat number one.
is gone.
Rat number 1 is gone forever.
Gone
Because
completely.
all we decided
Hey,
to
DM,
do
Yeah.
Rat
Rat
number
number
one,
one.
send it back.
Hey guys,
Send it
guys,
back.
guys. Rat
Rat
number
number
1
one is gone forever.
gone.
Okay.
Rat number
No,
2.
it's just behind the desk.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
step-
No, exactly. It's still there.
It's just
in a
beyond
point in time
our
that can never come
comprehension.
back.
Okay.
It is now in another timeline that is not ours.
Okay, explain to
Okay.
me what happened with rat number 2 and
Rat
how
number
there's
two.
one that's
Rat
painted
number
and
two.
one that isn't.
Do I need to hold
We
on?
sit there and think,
No.
we're going to send this
You're
back in time,
Okay.
We're putting cookies
but
on
we're
the table. by the way,
changing
you can't
it.
see.
So, say I took a bite out of this cookie and then sent it back in
Here,
time.
rip
Now-
a piece out of the
Then-
cookie.
All of a sudden, now that it's changed, we have a second one. But since the first one, we didn't change the first one at all. It came back as it exactly was before.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be ripping off that
Yeah,
half of the
see,
cookie
the
and
cookie,
sending it away.
But because we changed it, and we said we're gonna paint on its butt,
So
then
we just have an extra rat.
Basically.
yeah, now we have this rat.
Sweet.
Which-
Infinite rat glitch! It's the infinite rat glitch!
But almost infinite. Because think about it.
It's
Someone
like,
is
when you,
sent-
you know that video of like the Hershey bar being
Yeah,
cut
I know
and
the
it somehow
infinite
creates.
chocolate one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so that's the thing though. While
Also, I'm
seemingly
gonna put the cookie
infinite,
back in the-
it is always predicated on your choice of will. And that's where it gets a little philosophical of we have to keep deciding to spend resources and time and rats to put these rats back in the past.
Yeah.
For us, like right now, sweet, we get infinite rats. And yet eventually
future.
the rats are going to have to come from somewhere, right? Because
But
we're
we're gonna
making
have
these
to
little
eventually put the
paradoxes.
rats in.
Yeah, and eventually the change isn't going to be big enough for us.
Wait, so what's our rat debt right now? What do we have to pay off?
You are
Our-
only
our
at minus
rats.
1 rat. So,
Okay, cut
Well,
rat
minus
number
2
one.
because Sal ate.
and Sal did just eat the other one. So,
Sal just did eat paint butt.
I did.
but
I
that
doubt that's good for you, but
yeah, exactly.
You being stupid
Paint
stuff,
might
so-
not be great for your inside, but
But-
that's the key. Is now we're down 2 rats.
I
No,
eat
wait,
paint
actually,
all the time.
So Al,
Mm.
I want to do a medicine check and see if anything like is altering in the
I'm going.
digestive tract.
Well, you do that, and I will tell you. Here's the 2 things you've learned. We're gonna put names to them, or what I've named them. Because of rat number 1, you have discovered what is called a time lock. A time.
Is this wait just a second
Oh,
before
yeah.
you say it.
No, you're totally fine.
Is this one of the laws of time travel? Because didn't you say there were 3 laws of time
There
travel?
are 3 laws of time travel. This
Is
is
one of those.
This is not a law of time travel, but rather an effect of time travel. Yes, there are other laws
Wait.
that you're gonna start slowly getting.
Okay.
This is like an effect. It's like if there's 3 laws, like 3 laws of thermodynamics, there are other
3 genie
effects,
rules.
right?
Yeah.
One effect then of time travel is a time lock, meaning something was tampered because of time travel, but because it followed so closely, to time, it is
exactly
locked
how it
in
was
history.
before. Yeah.
Now, some might call this like, think about major tectonic shifts. It's very hard to change those. Those are probably time locked. Of they happen, they stay. You sent the rat back in time, and it didn't change the universe enough. It has happened. That is a time lock. Something has locked, so to speak, in place an event of history. A good time lock we can
Almost
maybe
as if
explain.
when we make our own choices of
Mhm.
I'm gonna grab this instead of that.
Time locks start small and have the ability to grow. For example, a 1-minute rat is a small time lock. But the longer we go without going to that point in history and changing it, it's going to keep growing. For example, it's now been almost 10 minutes since our real world time. The more that grows, that's a bigger time lock growing up. That rat's forever there. Now it's possible to get the rat back. For example, if you guys wanted to, let's use some of our tritanium. We're going to send ourselves back and grab rat 1. But it takes more to get the time lock off, if that makes sense.
It takes more titanium.
Exactly. Because the longer you wait, the more tritanium you're going to have to use to just physically get yourselves back in time.
Which is also important to know because the longer we wait doing experiments and like other things, unless we go and steal the tritanium from the guy or like buy off all the tritanium before we're able to get to it again.
It's a fair point.
Like,
so now that's one of the
we have a limited
effects.
supply and a limited amount of time before we're out of time to go back to the points where we need to.
Now there is the second effect that we learned from Smiley Face Butt, or rat number 2. This effect is what we call a loop paradox. A loop paradox is we want to paint a butt on Smiley Face, send it back. Well, we receive Smiley Face Butt, but we just sent Smiley Face Butt. That was a conscious effort. Loop paradoxes are choices. Loop paradoxes don't ever occur naturally. It's because, let's try sending him back in time, but we took the exact same rat and just passed it down the line. It creates that loop paradox of, well, who's got Smiley Face Butt? Loop paradoxes also are akin to a time lock, where if you guys chose, you could use tritanium, go back in time, and grab Smiley Face Butt out of your own hands. But again, the longer you wait, the longer it stays. And there's two differences. A time lock can essentially erase something, right? Like rat number 1 is now erased. It's stuck in a lock.
But if we take Smiley away, that keeps Al from eating it.
Well, we'll get to that.
Sorry.
It's the loop paradox is saying, to fix that though, it is not in any way locked out of history because of just time happening. That was a choice.
Yeah.
So if it makes sense, it's like there's a difference between time locking something, the river naturally curving, or species interaction locking, where we have physically made like a dam in the river. You know,
Stone.
we've created a rat going around and around. Both of these are locks, but one is natural to certain extents, right? That's just kind of gravity, human history.
And we could have just as easily for the second one chosen to not send Smiley Face Butt back, but instead send
the
other one.
Keeping time. Which, having said that, here is the second law of time travel.
Yay!
We have just found this proof now with time locks and loop paradoxes, and bringing in. But if we painted a butt and sent him back, the second law of time travel is this: time wants to happen. That's
To go forward?
to go forward.
Continue. Yeah.
Time likes continuing. Whether it's because we create loop paradoxes, whether it's because time makes its own little time lock to keep something safe, right? I mean, it'd be wild, because if that rat could keep coming back, suddenly there's 20 gajillion Google rats everywhere, and we all die. It's time locked itself because time wants to happen. It wants to flow. It wants to be simple. It wants to go down a hill, right? Water travels down the hill. That is the second law, is there's no way to, for example, stop time. Or as we would think, it's like, oh, but excuse me, gosh. We have knowledge now that no matter what we do, eventually water's going to move down. Time's going to happen. It's going to move forward. But there are things that can loop and change. Now, this was a lot already. There's still about a third law to discover, and there's other experiments.
What was the first law?
The first
Plain and
law...
simple?
I have another experiment.
Energy expended on physical material extends to any conjoined material.
I have another experiment.
Okay.
I set another rat on the table. I'm painting a butt on this one's... I'm painting a butt on this one's butt.
Okay.
Sal, no.
Sal.
Sal,
Put it back.
not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Painting a butt on this one's butt
Yeah.
and sending it back a minute.
Okay.
And I'm gonna intently, just like we were with the smiley face.
Now, here's what I'll ask. This is very meta. Are you actually going to do that? Or is it just more a conjecture of, I'm not going to, but I want to see if just by saying it?
Yes, I will.
So, because it's that I'm doing this, you all watch. A butt on the butt rat has appeared.
And now there's two.
Now there are two.
With butt painted on both of them?
Mm-hmm.
I am going to send this other rat back Unless one of you could stop me.
Sal immediately eats the original butt rat. Just takes it.
Right.
Then what happens?
Such a good idea. You're so smart.
This is why Strike Team is Strike Team.
Yeah.
That's not Eleanor. I feel like that's a given.
That's just
moment.
given.
I just
Is
ah.
you have now just created another fun little
If it's
paradox.
okay, I put words in your character's mouth, Lincoln.
The original butt rat has just been eaten,
Mm-hmm.
but this other one's still here. That's not a loop paradox. That is time travel. The paradox that this is simply just called a time paradox. We sent a butt rat back, but Sal ate the other one. You have now just created an alternate timeline. It's like this is a moment where all of you would stop and go, that's what this has to mean.
Alternate timelines are
Technically,
a
there
thing
is
in
now
this
a timeline where we send the original back, and Sal doesn't eat butt rat. Because there's a timeline where Sal, you might have gotten distracted eating another rat. Or the other rat. Or there's many
Or I
possibilities.
was full.
Or you're
Not
full.
lightweight, but
27, 26, and I'm just gonna keep
Count
counting
down.
down.
maybe
because-
there's a timeline where you grab my hand instead and eat
24,
it.
23,
Don't actually.
22,
What are you counting down?
21.
It's after a minute what's
20.
going to happen to this rat. Because there was a
minute.
conscious effort, and there was. But keep in mind, in about 15 seconds, Black Opal doesn't have a rat to paint and send back because
But I
Sal
could
ate it.
still send
Still send
the
one.
one that has the butt already painted.
Mhm.
Which
And now here's the
Cool.
very meta question: are you going to try to send one back?
I
I am
that one
going
too.
to.
Sal eats it.
Now what?
Both butt rats have
I
been
don't even
eaten.
know how to write these notes.
You're good.
so
This
much.
is experiment 3.
Sal
The
eats
butt
the
rat.
rats.
The butt rat.
Sal just
The
ate
butt
both.
rat. We have
There
smiling
is
rat,
no
butt
rat
rat.
So
to
now
be
there's
sent.
And
no
the back
original rat
rats.
to send, or no rat that was already sent back with the butt
Mhm.
to send back.
But we
So therefore, we
experienced
don't have either the
Any
original.
rats.
Do I
Any rat.
still have rats in my stomach?
You still. Oh,
I
Sal,
actually,
you're like.
it sounds bad. I have an X-ray on his stomach. To
Oh yeah,
see
it's
what
just like
animals
very
are in there.
cartoonish, like little rats. The rats are inside Sal's stomach. That's forever said. This is now a true time paradox or a timeline. We now have a timeline where not only did we make decisions, time happened, but someone changed it. Shenanery. That is.
Shenanery eating the rat.
Eat the rat.
Eat the rat.
So
Drop and give it
similar to how we had our set timeline,
Mhm.
but then Khan goes
Our
back and says, "Sal, you're going on a mission. You're going here."
Yep.
Thus
Oh my gosh,
taking
we go
out-
get another Sal.
Thus taking away the rat.
We're taking away the rat.
Now here's the thing though. There is something very important to know because now that we've, it's like, okay, this is how we make
You are
alternate
our
timelines. This is how we change time, right?
I'm
Because
gonna
we've
actually
done
give him
something
a
that
name
is
tag that
irreversible.
says our Sal.
We're
Or
not-
like affix it to
We're
our
not
post.
going to take any.
Any cell.
of
The
us
key
from
is
another timeline.
because this is not a time lock. This is not a loop paradox. That time isn't like locked a little river in place. We've just created something new.
Imagine if there was 2 Sals though. Y'all would.
We would
Why?
survive.
So, well, the question is, why can't we have 2 cells? If we were to ask for
Because I'm
cells,
unique.
Give him a little-
to an
Yes,
extent.
you are, Sal.
Here's why I'll ask: you guys can all make a group insight check because here comes the question.
Can I ask?
Why
I hate
don't
that-
the future us's come back and we just make an army of us, right? Like, army of Cell, 20 different Vals,
Okay.
18 Tahinas, and
I
black
have-
opals upon the score would be awesome to
Side
have.
note. I did a 24 medicine check.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
kind of want to know, and this is Eleanor's brain kind of like ticking now too, and is also kind of a little bit of Allie Beardsley doing modern
Shenanery.
references, shenanery. I believe there was an episode of a TV show from the 20th century, labeled Family Guy, where the youngest, who's named Stewie, I like to watch a lot of TV. Okay.
I like
Um,
stew.
Yeah,
Stew's
Stu
good.
is very funny.
No,
There's an
Stew
episode where
is
he and his
yummy.
dog go back in time. But it comes to a point where one of the original Stewie and his dog have to tell everyone to just go back because worse things will happen if more show up. Is that why there are not enough us's? And with that, I'm going to make my roll.
Yes. So here we go. Black opal.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Cool.
Natural 13 for a total of
Ooh.
19.
So is this
Oh,
gonna
wait.
be insight?
That will
Adding
give you something different.
insights.
Yes.
Insight?
Yeah, it's more of an insight of why don't we get more us's or why don't we have
Could
that
it be an
kind of-
insight with? You know, that'll be fine. 15.
Dina, what did you get?
7.
7. Dina, I will say it's very much, it's not even in any shame way. It's like very smart. I can get the math, but it's confusing. It took me a while to make these rules, and because it is like, how does this work?
I feel like you're really
Sal.
focused on the rules, and Sal's over here doing the shenanigans.
Is
which
there
makes
a
you go,
way-
Well, here's what we'll start with. Sal, we'll start with your nat 13. Would you rather try to more insight why is there not more of us? Or would you rather insight why am I still here? Does that make sense? Like, it's either if I was taken, if Khan changed the timeline, right? You were sent on a mission. Why am I still here, right? Like I'm not
Why
locked.
didn't he
It's
just kill you?
kill me or
Right,
change
'cause
that.
I talked to Khan's
Yes.
face.
Mhm.
and I
Which
didn't
one would you
know.
rather do? Because the nat 20 is gonna, it's the best kind of
Yeah,
answer. But this
25.
is,
Yeah, the why am I still here?
why are you still here?
So it's existential.
Why am
I
I
gotta
here?
say, Val is like getting out like shock blankets and like medical stuff to ease our minds as we go through
Yeah,
this
well,
maze of thought.
let's sit down. Let's write this down on a whiteboard. Sal,
I've got my little stuffed.
Why
stuffed
are you
animal
still
dog
here?
Just suddenly in my
Well,
lap.
You don't have
because-
No one can see it.
you are you. It's probably the first thing in your mind. It's like
Me is me.
there's no second Sal.
Despite
There's
everything,
nothing. It's
still
you.
you.
I'm Sal. I'm myself. That's something hard to change. Is an intelligence, a person, a species, something with high impact. That's hard to just stop, with the exception of killing them, right? You know, or destroying them. Sal, even though Khan changed the timeline, he sent you off on a mission. You it was. Honestly, that sounds bad. It was almost that uneventful, like, yeah, it was more of a diplomacy thing, and it just caused me not to be here. But I didn't blink out, nor other things happened, nor I get stuck in this time loop of Sal went off on a mission. We never saw Sal again. It's, because you're different than a rat. You are a highly intelligent creature with the ability to alter time.
You have the ability to.
It's
think.
even though
like-
you were
it is
altered,
complex.
you were altered, right? You know, someone put you in a different portion of the stream, right? They kind of moved your rock,
And then you came back.
but you are not a rock. You are something that moves.
You can move on your own and walk away.
You can make choices. You can make sure, right? You're an intelligence of this Gorn that can say, but I don't want to just stay here. Which, that's what a rat really is right now. That rat, Rat A, the time-locked rat, was more or less just the rock of, well, I'm now being put here. So that's what you get, Sal, is there's something to be said on certain, it's not, and I shouldn't even say species, but certain entities
Of consciousness.
of levels of consciousness can make choice. What we might call agency, what others might call chaos or free will. It's the idea that my choices are my own.
If we train
That-
the rat,
Even though there can be forms of destiny, time wants to happen, there is still a destiny. I can make choices to not physically be moved if I so choose. The Nat 2025. This is the big one, though, of like, why are there not more of us here? Is Black Opal, you get a little bit of the same vibe. Well, because there's only really one of us. But on a Nat 20, you think of the implications. If multiple Black Opals were coming back to this point, where did they come from? Well, the future, so to speak, or multiple instances of future, or we could even call them, different timelines. They came from a far down portion of the stream all the way back up.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
But then they would have to
I
just
was
keep
trying to-
occurring, right? They eventually you're gonna get stuck having to go back, and then go further down, and then go back, right? It's like, imagine living multiple thousands of years. That would become too chaotic, and you might just go insane, which sounds bad, but it's that level of so many versions of me where eventually there's going to be a version of me that's lived billions of lifetimes, but around myself and doing all this, that's wild.
Which could explain the Emperor.
It's more the explanation of the Emperor to the extent of why are there no billions of Khan then running around the galaxy?
Right.
There is, to the extent, time wants to happen, but the river has already run. If you wanted to, you could send thousands of yourself back, but what would be the darkest but most logical choice of what to do with yourself?
Kill them.
Well, I know what I'd be
To be
doing.
Black Opal Prime.
Yeah.
That actually
It's
sounds like
eventually...
a
Well, because what are you going to do? With the extra 17 copies of you, they're not all just going to want to sit around. They're entities. They're intelligent. They can move the time stream to keep yourself from running wild.
Oh no,
It
that,
would-
no.
It's a very common law of the universe called entropy. Things just break apart.
Oh,
So does social bonds. So does your mind. Why
I
is there
feel
not
like,
thousands of
I feel
Khan?
like you just brought up a good point, Tahina. What if... Now, this isn't completely relating to what you're wanting. What if, of your mind, you are of a resolute decision of wanting to do something?
Mm-hmm.
It could be doing yourself. It could be to a mission, to a... That's what she brought up,
Love
okay?
how you slipped
I
that
know.
in there.
No, that's
No,
what
that's
she was
what I
insinuating!
That's what I said.
Every single one of the Shagarats, personal orgy. Like, but
Yeah.
no, it's if you set your mind.
No risk of extra dimensional AIDS.
Yeah, but risk of
But-
extra dimensional incest and like
Yeah,
STD.
no.
That's
Gross.
not. That's
No,
That,
but
honestly, it feels like glorified
Inbreeding.
along
masturbation.
with my
it's
nat 20,
It's
Yeah,
glorified.
I
not
wanted to.
incest.
I don't think it'd be
the
incest.
possibility
It's just glorified masturbation.
Yeah, I
Of-
agree with that.
There
Sure.
is. I know we're already on the way to the place that we were predestined to go and die.
Mhm.
Oh
Of
yeah, no, we were going
sorts.
to die here.
But
Yeah, you're
what
onto it.
if we were able to.
Other versions of us.
If we went and somehow made another timeline and gathered a version of me who's now my mom, a version of you who has your emotions, like, is that possible,
Just
or does that just go right back
create
into
Well,
an
your...
ultimate
here's
team.
you've come to
Go
the
off
both
the
of these ideas. That nat 20.
Self-genocide?
Why can't we have these terrifying versions of it? Why have they not come back? Because part of that history has happened. The reason there's not multiple timelines, it's the Nat 20 Black Opal, there's only one timeline, there's only one stream. Why do we not have a multiverse where what happened if 9/11 didn't happen or something, blah, blah, blah? It's because of this. You can divert a stream of water. You could even put a dam in place that would eventually break the water apart. But either the streams eventually have to reconnect. Again, gravity, there's a force of time eventually pulling it, or it's just going to stay in the diverted course. This happens with real rivers all the time. You can put up a dam. Eventually, that's the path of the river.
Yeah.
There's no other timeline. It's been chopped. Why is there no version of Black Opal running around where his mother's in his body doing who knows what? Or Val, who went insane, and very dark implications of, well, we can't have an insane Vulcan because you stopped it. You changed it. There is no other timeline for them to come back. It then adds in, why can't I be super resolute in bringing myself back? Why can't I have so many of me? Because there isn't. Eventually, you'll reach a point
We've
where
reached our answer.
you
in-
can't bring yourself
sitting.
back because it's the timeline. The river says, yeah, if you bring yourself back, eventually you've just made the new path. There was never an old path. It's a paradox in of itself of, I can't just ask 1,000 of me and say, we're all going to meet right here, right now, because they don't exist.
Our very existence answers the question of if we can, which means we cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't understand that at all.
Like if we take a Sa'al, right, we would have to put him back. we would have to set the timeline right. So then it would flow. Us being here without other versions of ourselves means that it has not been done yet, or it has been done and we have been successful in writing the timeline.
This is what we will call the resolute paradox.
I'm so
By
smart.
the simple fact that we don't have extra versions of ourselves or little like personal armies is because it can't exist. We can never truly prove it, but it is therefore proven. It is literally Schrodinger's
Sitting here.
paradox in that sense of
Schrodinger's open
we
box.
can't prove that it can't be done, and yet we're somehow proving it because another Dahina's not shown up.
We're proving it because nobody has come to us. So we
No.
could open the question and
But here's the thing. This brings it back into, so how is Khan then going back in time? How is he doing this? Because of one simple fact.
He's killing himself
He's killing himself.
every time.
He's
Go back in
keeping
time.
an original copy. It's as if you sent Buttrat back and somehow Buttrat immediately ate its predecessor.
so therefore it's...
Buttrat's now the timeline.
So let's say if we went back to Vulcan, where I was disconnected from my emotions, if I employed my own help, I would have to kill myself in order to keep the Al
Gotcha.
Prime alive.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Meaning the Khan you are fighting, or the Khan we know, is Khan. This isn't like, I've got a bunch of copies hiding somewhere in the universe. It's just him. And because it then brings in the final law of time travel, the final like set rule. And I'm going to give you a nice way to phrase it, and then I'm going to give you the colloquial what I kind of say to myself.
There can only be one.
Is the nice way to say it, the third law of time states
Nice way.
the direct flow of time is congruent in of itself. You can then put an addendum. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed, only changed. Right? Now to kind of explain, it's that you scoop a bit of water from down the stream, put it in the top stream, the water has stayed. You've only changed its location. You have not created it nor destroyed it. Now, how I say it, don't fuck with time. Now, that's why I didn't start with that, because you might go, well, we just can't do it. It's, time's going to fix itself. Things are going to change. It's why there's no other timelines. It's why you don't have tons of variances
That's why
around.
there's the no baby Hitler.
And it's why, well, no, it's a good example. And it's why there's only one Khan. Because you can't fuck with time. It can't be created or destroyed. Time is congruent only to itself. You can't truly add in rocks and dams into the river, only what's already there. Sal couldn't pull a random extra dimensional rat out of space and time to eat it to create a new timeline. Sal had to use the rat still in the water. It's always been there. It always will be.
Our replicator technically doesn't make anything out of thin air. It has parts to it that
Protein
makes
strands, particles.
the
Yep.
things. It has the
Slow
particles with it.
recreation. Everything that happens in the river stays in the river. Time is congruent in of itself. You can't fuck with time. And Khan has realized that.
Nothing can come.
He's
from
not creating an army of himself. He is not drastically somehow making multiverses. He is slowly taking himself, putting him where he wants, killing his former self so that he can keep moving through time. The equivalent of
Okay.
standing in a river
Okay.
and moving backwards so it's only him.
So
He's
you're
a
saying
salmon.
this is old Khan
Mhm.
who is moving through these different situations. This is Khan that goes back in time that says, actually, we're going to go over to this situation,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to kill you so that I'm the one in this situation.
You
And that
didn't
just
create or
shows
destroy anything, you
how-
only changed it. You only said, what's this water
Okay.
doing? I'm drinking this water.
It would be
Now I'm
like
here.
Okay, so think of it this way: if we went back and instead of just plucking your sister right out from where she was lost sight of, if we went back and then instead killed ourselves and then kept her from running away,
Mhm.
we would then be us
them.
in
Yeah.
that timeline.
Okay,
And that's what he does.
got it.
So, in order to keep her from running away, if we went back and killed ourselves,
It's
It
a
would
gruesome
keep her
philosophy
from
of
running
there can
away.
only be one.
and that would be the decision we made,
Yes.
kind of a thing.
We're supposed to die. Are we? Do we
So
have to kill?
we have to kill
do
ourselves.
that.
In some way or another, you guys die when you go to Rigel 7 and the Orion Syndicate.
I start making columns, one for each of us, that writes down weaknesses.
Well,
How do we kill ourselves?
well, now here's the other thing.
Well, just
That
like,
is
how do
happening
you want
in the
to-
future, right?
Yeah.
It's not happened yet. This brings back in some of the early testing that we did. If we are choosing to send a rat back in time, and we really do mean it, the rat will either appear or we've created a soft lock. Either a time paradox will happen where, or excuse me, not a time paradox, a loop paradox will happen of a rat will come back, we send that rat down the line, or a rat is just now stuck forever because it's set. It's something that's like, well, we didn't really change it.
And I
but-
think the other groups are
But
like,
we
I
know
can sneak behind this
shenanery
room.
is how we truly change it.
Time.
You guys know if you can somehow decide, like, I will allow myself to die by my future hands, you're creating a time paradox like Khan is. It's that
You have to be resolute. in
Khan is a super intelligent creature that has decided and said, if another me comes up to me, I'm instantly allowing myself to be killed because I know that that's original. It's wild paradox of like, I'm somehow not the original, but I have to make such a firm choice in my mind to allow myself to kill myself. It's not even suicidal. It's literally paradox mind-blowing of, if I see myself, it must mean I'm not the original.
Yeah. It's the whole,
Whoa.
are you the original? Are there others? Yes. If, are there any? No. Then yes, you are the original.
And that's why these 3 rules of time travel are so important, because it helps us teach the first thing, how things can move between time. The second tells us time is constantly moving forward. And the third, time, or we can start using even the phrase matter created or destroyed only change. It's only changeable. We can't
Yeah.
truly create or destroy time.
And we wouldn't be able to send a note back to ourselves saying, hey, go here instead, because that would change what currently happened to us.
Versus what you talked about last session, but if we send just a data pad allowing McTavish knowledge, saying like, here's something you can know, as long as it doesn't change anything, you've created just a quick lock. You've created just a quick lock paradox of, we're going to send the captain a data pad, only what he needs. It is basically gone forever. And yet, McTavish then just has knowledge. It's almost the equivalent of, we can give him a sending, and it technically doesn't change the universe at all. It's just he will then know exactly what we know at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Khan is going around, and anytime a Khan comes to him and is like, time to die, he's like, okay.
Yeah.
What if one of us disguises ourselves as Khan, comes and says, I'm you from the future, die, bitch.
I'm
Yes!
sure.
Do
No,
that?
I'm sure he had. That's great, but I'm sure
Oh,
he
he probably
has a
has
way
contingency
to
plans on
determine
contingency
that
plans.
it is
Probably,
his.
but
He's
wouldn't
like,
it be
hey, say
great?
the code
Yeah,
word. We're like,
wouldn't it be great? Like, I'm you
Pepperoni!
from the
Yeah.
future, and you just go, great. Ha. And yeah, no, there's probably a contingency, or he has a system, because you have to be certain. Again, you don't want someone to pull that on you,
Yeah.
but it is a level of, now I know how to change it.
Like,
now I
he
know how to.
probably has some like secret signals or like
A signal, a
blade
phrase.
or some item that he has
So
that.
if we were now, because
Mhm.
this is something that might happen to us,
Mhm.
if we were to now decide on a secret signal with ourselves,
Mhm.
that would come. We'd be able to check that
Yep.
way, right?
That way, also people can't do it yourself, and that's something fun. I've made these with my friends before. It's like, how do we know if one of us is ever in a time loop or an alternate timeline? Well, because we use this catchphrase, and I'll go, oh, cool. It's that equivalent of, only I would know what I'm gonna say, and by at least doing it once just to yourself, it literally negates the possibility of ever being duped, because you say, well, I know what I would do. I would never change it. This is it.
Yeah.
Now, the last thing, Dahina, that you would get, again, this is all like, all of you are making these inside checks, doing these tests, traveling to the syndicate. The last thing then that all of you would then learn is, so can a rat go to the future? The answer then is no. because there is technically no future for it to go to. It's very paradoxical. It sounds gross, but technically the river has yet to run down there. But it has, right? Because if something comes back, something's down there. But we can't go forward because of that third law of time. Because time can only work in of itself. We can't just decide to go forward because there's somehow that possibility of we yet don't or can't pinpoint where we can go. Because anything could happen. If I send myself forward and because based on a random extreme current of events, suddenly a star goes supernova and destroys everything, I would be shooting myself into the middle of a dying star and just die. There's nowhere to go. Time wants to happen. Time's not going to let me do that. It's in of itself. The energy that is being pushed forward, that first law, isn't going to take myself because there's no place to go. But it's why Khan has been worked very carefully, and his genetics have given him that unfair advantage of, okay, if I can only go back, though, I have a good plan. I keep going back. I already live longer and work smarter than most people. I can keep just letting myself relive things because I'm in a good spot to do so. I don't need to worry about somehow getting to the future. I can just keep letting the past play out. Very paradoxical. And I know, in real world, not just science fiction, I know this doesn't actually work like this because if it did, we would have found other ways to prove it.
Cool, I sent you my passcode.
Yes, I will say is...
Because role-playing wise, that would just be cool. Because, you know, you get to role-play us killing us.
It's, yeah, if you want to either, like, text it to me or it's like, because
What is
once
the
you have
passcode
something
that-
that's only your passcode, whether it's a thing you say or do, or even, like, they bring back, like, only the original me is going to have my favorite pink pen. And, like, well, that works
The
too.
original me is going to make passionate love. No, I'm joking.
Well, it's,
So we need to text you what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
if you do that, you will have a set way of having just yourself. Excellent.
I can't spell that word, but I think you know what I mean. You know I want to be dramatic. Just
Yes. Yes. Okay. No, I like these. Because it's things only you would know or do or say or think. I like these. These are looking... What I will say then is this. You are heading towards the Syndicate.
I'm an idiot.
What has happened is this. For all of you, you are going to get a deep space communication to your data pads. It looks almost nonsensical. What we'd call like junk mail. It's like, hello sender, you have won certain prize. And you're like, what are you doing?
Vulcan Prince wants to share his fortune.
There's no such thing as a Vulcan Prince. What are you doing? Right, like, but
Vulcan
as
is
you
not
get this,
princess.
all of you passively would realize that included in this deep space communication, the numbers and letters do form a pattern that anyone who has worked on the Confidence would recognize as the astrogation computer numbers.
Mm.
Only someone who worked on the Confidence and like lived on the Confidence for a while would know this.
That's fine.
I will say that is just the passive. The message does still seem nonsensical. Simply that, like, wait a second, this is coding from our ship. That you would have to be on the ship, like, verbatim. You can't just, like, guess this. Someone's gonna be, like, sitting there writing number. But is there anything people want to do or try to, like, look deeper into this communication to figure out what this means? Okay.
Do you guys like the
No, just let it go to trash. No, yes.
Literally my favorite line of all time. No one
Okay.
ever knows what I'm referencing. That's my favorite one ever.
The prophet prophecy is true.
That is perfect, though. That is perfect. I love all.
Well, I know what you're referencing.
So, with this junk email that looks coded, anyone who wants to, if you want to make either investigation checks or other things to kind of look deeper into, like,
Yeah, I'd love to make
if this is from the confidence, but what's it trying to say?
Would an Arcana check be trying to decide?
Oh, inside would work too.
Well, couldn't intelligence?
Just base intelligence would work.
Arcana.
an
Arcana
intelligence
wouldn't
roll?
because Arcana, what Arcana or Tech, what we would know is it's technically not Tech, right? There's deeper levels. Because if it was just Tech, it's we could debug it and like
So
code
what is
through.
this
But
check?
raw intelligence can work in this moment.
What do you mean raw intelligence? A roll?
An intelligence check.
Oh, and
Yeah.
your intelligence
5
got
insight.
Okay,
I got a 19 insight.
19.
Oh, my heat. I'm doing
11.
math
11.
again. Oh,
not rolling well.
Math.
23.
23.
How are you?
Sal got a 25. Wow.
Simp.
I got a 25.
25.
Yeah, I saw
Sal.
it earlier and was trying to be like, that's cute.
Oh,
But then
Every
you
other line seems to be repeated out of this junk email of click here for grand prize, and like every so often you keep seeing
Grand
these
prize,
phrases.
yeah.
No.
You go to click on it and realize it doesn't click. There's no link, there's nothing there. It's like, why would they have this then? Looking through, Sal, on a whim, you just kind of start pressing numbers. Dehina, what you realize is this is the exact start date of your graduation. Is every so many letters is the star date. So like 7 letters down. 3, 1, 5, 9, 8, 3, 7, 3, 1, 5, 9, 8 is keep going through. Sal decodes a message for you all. The code reads, Crew of the Confidence, now is the time to gather. Report to the hollow planet. Bring any allies that you can.
I give a pointed look at Taylor.
What's the hollow
idea.
planet?
Oh, so I watched their stream.
This is
I
where I'm
don't know,
like,
can I tell
or like
what's
my
going
history.
on?
This was a different mission that the crew did while you guys were doing strike team stuff. But I'll allow it to play through a Val like, I read this log. Like,
Oh, I
You
read
read
this
the
log.
reports.
Do you not?
Guys, I thought we all like
Guys, it's protocol to read the. Guys!
This is
Get
like
it,
the law.
Get it, nerd.
Huh, nerd. Gibbon goes back to flying.
I high five given.
Well, in the log, and then I explain like they do this mission to the Hollow Planet, and that their plan is to lure Khan in, and then blow him up with as many nukes as possible.
the hollow planet is where Khan mined his tritanium. He
It's where
like
he
mined
the
out a
tritanium.
planet.
He mined
It's
it out.
if we
yeah.
go there, lure him
He's
there
got like
because
the center of a moon's worth of tritanium.
Yeah.
it's if we can lure him in, and I won't go into details on who is the bait. One of the other party members is a bit important to Khan.
Oh, is it
and
one of the nieces or nephews?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and again, not biological, but like that very adoptive. Like Khan was best friends with our father, who's an admiral, and we found notes that Khan has this obsession with like having this family in us. So
Oh, wasn't
will
it
be
the quote? It was called the Monte Cristo plan.
the Monte Cristo plan, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Of Aaron Shaw. It's that idea of Khan views himself as the Edmond Dantes, and we are his lost family, even though we're obviously not. Captain McTavish is saying, hey, this planetoid that's now hollow, let's gather here, bring allies, bring equipment, like, basically, let's get ready
shall
for this final fight.
slap.
Lure him in. If we can, implode the planetoid on top of him, we have a chance. Because, yeah, you can be a superhuman being. Good luck against an imploding planet. Like, you're not gonna live. We're gonna shoot this to hell.
As a
Like,
side note, with past logs, I kind of want to look through ours and check because we have at least the owl has a recorder on it, not like full body cam, but like what did he specifically say? Because he told us how we were gonna die. Khan told us in his giant villain,
Mhm.
ha ha ha,
Yeah,
I
when
win, look
he-
at me, I know you die this way, you die this way. So how do we set that up as best as we can?
So here's the thing.
I have an idea.
Oh, I was just gonna say, part of Khan's absolute dickery is being a fleet admiral. He did implement subroutines in all of Starfleet vehicles and data pads where if he ever is making shipwide communicate, it doesn't record him, which was passed off as,
Oh, you
oh,
bitch.
don't record the fleet admiral in case he puts his foot in his mouth, haha, because we want to like look good at Starfleet. But it lets him have like complete anonymity anytime he wants to talk to people.
Then, wait, do I have the keen mind feature?
But the key mind, that's what I'm saying, is key mind, you would be able to just personally know, like, I think this
Right.
is exactly what it said.
Because it's within the past month.
Mhm.
So therefore I know it perfectly.
Nobody
No?
saw
Oh, wait, why did I take Warcaster? I thought I took keen mind.
physical
No.
bodies of any of Area 31.
No.
No.
Sector 31, no one ever...
Do we die?
I want to send back a data pad to myself when my mother was taking over my body and tell them to hide and then show up at this planet and help us take down Khan.
So we just learned
So
stuff.
they,
A version of myself, like, if I can send back and change time.
she will still, like, you still need to do this.
Do XYZ.
Do XYZ. I will be able to get you back, but they will disappear, get blown up.
Is this the plan you want to enact?
I wanted
They
to
die
run it by
at
everybody.
Area 31.
So, Area 31 will be vacated.
Sector 31.
Sector.
It's,
I-
I know, but it's like, for me, I'm like, there's no such thing as
Sector.
Area 31.
Area-
Sector 31. But, so, you get what I'm...
Yeah.
The person who is in Sector 31, who I would give, like, a code message to my...
Well, my aunt
Parent,
was there, wasn't
who would
she?
know.
And she would be able to comprehend these things, wouldn't she?
To a certain extent, yes.
I
Vulcans have a
would-
better logical mind.
This is not something I would send to your aunt.
Okay.
This
I just didn't know
is...
if we needed extra allies in the past.
I mean,
Because she was
That-
talking vague to me back then. She just told me to
Ish,
get out.
yeah.
Ish.
but like, if I... This is why I'm running it by everybody. If I send this message to my mother, who has the stones, no pun intended, to offer self to get this thing done. Like, I have no doubt in my mind.
Right. Yeah.
Would... Then that would just rely on, would they follow suit?
Do you want
this
to do it?
plan?
Well, if they're us.
Do you want to send it?
And I feel like honesty is the best policy. Because me, right now, I am ready to die by my own hand.
Oh no, I am too. But like, I would send it to my mother. She would kill herself. The same things would happen.
Yes.
They would think that Sector 31 all blew up on that ship that
Yes.
came to attack the Confidence. But nobody saw them physically. It could have been a pre-recorded message.
I'm going to do something then with this plan forming. I'm going to make a bit of a luck check.
The prophecy.
That is a natural 1.
Look, Mike,
All of you watch.
you have the lucky feet.
Do you want to use a luck point on it?
Am I lucky?
I don't.
You've always
wait,
played
I
lucky
don't
people,
think-
so I'm like, is it
I know, yeah, it's one of those like fun stables for Izzy where it's like, oh
I
yeah,
know, yeah,
it's
yeah.
so damn helpful.
Because I did take a 5.
I will say this: I would say
Excited
even
warcast.
if you have it, you might want to hold on to it.
I don't have it anyways.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
have
do
the
we
poison
have?
ivy.
Hold on.
Something's going to happen
Poisons.
as you make this plan. You watch. Black opal materializes on your ship.
Oh fuck.
Walks over to you. Taylor is a piece of shit.
I look over at her. Yep. And I let myself die.
You grab your head. I will explain to you what happened. You sent
I
this
kinda,
back
like,
to your
put
mother.
my
Your
hand
mother went
over
rogue, tried to take Khan out herself. Khan was then made wind of your plan. You, through some harrowing events, were able to barely grab Tritanium, watching all your friends die. Send yourself back to this moment. That plan does not work. I will let you know and basically what you would know is kind of this passive insight. When there's too many variables to term like that, it's almost impossible. That's why the luck check it's very impossible to work. If I rolled higher on the luck check, I would have said, I won't tell you what happens because something's happening. It's you sent it back and your mom was like, well, now that I know, I can instead do this, right? Like, because again, being a species of intelligence, like, well, I
That's
can
why
make my
Khan
own
only
choices.
uses himself.
Let me go after Noble now, like, blah, blah, blah.
That's why Khan's only variable is himself.
Exactly. Khan keeps it very, like, linear
It's the
of,
only
like,
person you can
I go to
control is
me,
yourself
kill
in your actions.
myself, take that timeline, or, take that time.
How did Taylor react?
It's more just, like, watch
just
this.
been
There's
hearing
Taylor's
all this,
shit,
right?
yeah, kills you. And it's just, she has just been, like, watching this all happen. She hasn't said a word since you guys
Have you
captured her.
enjoyed this TED Talk?
She's not going to speak.
Alright.
None of us are named Ted.
It's a reference to an old way of and it's just I follow him into the corner and I consult
It's okay,
it.
Sal. It's okay.
It's
There's
okay,
no
I-
Teds here. There's no Teds here.
No Teds. There's no
It's
Ted.
so funny because Sal's the most intelligent
Yeah.
of all of us, probably.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Al is
But
autistic
it's
too?
just that natural, like,
I confirm.
you can be intelligent, but you don't.
Plus 2 intelligence.
I think he's the smartest of all of us.
Sal got the piece of
'Cause I
equipment
have,
that
like, a-
heightened the intelligence.
I have a +4 to intelligence.
I'm at plus 6, dude.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
that's
I'm
true,
not
yeah.
the most intelligent.
But,
I'm
like,
more
it's still to the
intelligent
extent of, like,
Yeah, you are really smart. I agree.
I like it's like you can have better stats, but you still role play it to be better. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of what I do with Samson
Okay.
sometimes, where he's just an ass. I'm
Okay,
like,
so that one does not
Shit
work.
plan.
I
Shit
cross
plan.
it off of the board.
Here,
Shit
let's
plan.
not bring Onyx into this mess.
Not Onyx. No. Should we try my aunt?
A variable again. No.
A variable
variable.
again, but
It's
I
and
go
here's what I'll
back in
say.
Time. That's my plan.
So we just
Correct.
sent Sal to the beginning of the campaign, and this whole time,
Okay, well, what if I don't go on the mission
don't go on the mission.
that Khan sent me on?
just don't go on the mission. Yeah, tell him to
If
not
you
go on the
just
mission.
murk yourself,
And choose not to go.
choose not to go, you stay.
Alright.
That would alter some.
That would alter some big stuff.
Because also, I was gone when Jumbo was killed, so maybe I could save Jumbo.
Exactly.
Mm,
I've again
Think we
out
get
of
to
my
play.
notes of this campaign, I've been prepping for this of like, here we go.
Shenanigans!
Pure luck
Nice
check. I'll let you know you want specifically a 15 or higher. It's a 14.
Guidance.
Damn it.
Luck. There's no. That's what luck points are the only way. It's not like this is just kind of a can it. Sal, you go to make this. The. I'm so excited for this. You watch. You like. This is the plan.
Is there a
Oh,
way?
before you go, are you fully ready to kill yourself or have yourself be killed by your
I'm
own
going
hands?
to roll a dice real quick.
Do
My
it.
therapist about that. And I
Do
don't
it in your
know.
goal.
Sal, you
Wait,
watch. A Sal appears on the deck of the Shaggerats.
Put the note up there.
This Sal's eyes are bright pink.
Bright pink.
Walks up to you though and says, hands a little something. None of you see what hands to show you. Garth is cool, I guess. You look at the note. Yeah. The original, or you take
Yeah.
it back, and you kill yourself. Sal, I will explain a little of what happened. This was a very close working plan because again, you do go back, and while it did save Jumbo, you were there in time to break open the doors, allowing other medical personnel to get to the warp core in time. You got there in time to get Taylor before she escaped, which that chain of events, by having Taylor too early on, shall we say, caused you to learn about Khan before the rest of the ship was like ready to even escape him. So by capturing Taylor, learning of these plans sooner, ill-advised plans were sent to try to take him down, and he almost murdered you all. Sal, you and the strike team barely escaped. Gibbon and Dahina sent you back as Val and Black Opal died when Black Opal's mother took over to then fight Khan. Val's mind went crazy. You were sent back. And it's really all a blur. We'll play into some of that. Just this is Sal, like, I think someone died, but now it's me, but I've killed myself. So it's that, like, the plan to try to go back.
Just like a
dead
Black
cell.
Opal.
The bodies
and
are piling.
The body's piling up! Ah, shit.
Matter cannot be destroyed. Can we incinerate our bodies, please?
An idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send my body to my mother.
Ooh, like,
To get her to help and,
And
be
like-
Khan did this or something.
And like real time?
Yeah.
Or like in the past?
No,
real
like right
time,
now.
like, yeah.
Because I have a dead body just lying around.
Yeah.
Before you do, you should do like a thing like Khan's name, like in a bloody note.
I'm gonna insight before I do that.
I don't
No,
know.
please do. I think
yeah.
inside of what would be the ramifications of sending my
'cause it's
body.
Like, if I actually show up, am I gonna get killed by my mom? Because she's like, you're not real, Sal. Pew, pew,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Sal, you
Or
do
not
have
real
pink
Sal.
eyes. I will say, your pink eyes are an unfortunate, during some of the big battles and escape, a lot of red spice drugs got into the air system, and it got into your eyes and
spice
kind of
drugs.
tinted them.
What drugs do I have on me?
Stuff like that, red spice. It's, if taken
Stop
ill-advised,
with
red
drug
spice
problem.
can
Just
really
because
change
you want pink
pigmentation.
eyes, do not.
No, I'm saying,
It's
like,
actually-
should I not use the drugs then? Because apparently drugs were used in
Oh.
that scenario. and
Well,
it
no,
didn't work.
It's, the drugs were present, and when explosions happened, it got into the air.
Oh.
The equivalent of like, we have
Cocaine
mustard
dust.
gas, but there's a difference between like I'm gonna throw a canister into a trench versus like, ah shit, someone shot it in my hand and exploded in my face.
Is this a good idea or not? Because I rolled a natural 20
Yeah.
plus
20.
6,
So.
so 26
Let's-
total.
You
Wait.
Go.
Is there guidance that we could throw and maybe get that a
Guidance!
30?
try to make it 30.
Yeah.
Just roll 4.
What's the guidance?
D4.
D4. D4.
That's a
It's
28.
28.
20. It's still pretty good. I mean, it's still pretty good. It's a
The
nat 20.
Val from the
Yeah.
past to give a
No.
Pretty good.
Again, part of that, times congruous. You can't like send it back because then where to go? It's creating loops. Val, you watch as Sal's eye just kind of like, blink, blink, and you just open. You see the ramifications,
The third
the
eye
pieces
opens.
alive,
Yeah.
because Sal,
I think he's becoming
you
more
were,
Look.
quote unquote, banished from the Gorn because it's like, listen, we need you to prove yourself. What would happen is immediate outcry.
Mm.
Your mother doesn't want you dead. No one would want you dead. It's just they didn't want you out because it's like, well, we need you to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Get good to that extent.
Get
But
good.
we don't want
Get good.
someone to die because we want you around.
Just trial.
By doing this, by sending your body back, it's not only proof of time travel to that extent of wait, but Sal still exists. Like, we can communicate with Sal. It's definitive proof, and you very much could get the Gorn on your side.
Okay.
A battle station of Gorn, because it's alright. You've proven yourself. You died. Like, we didn't want you to, so it's almost
Died
that
in
like,
battle.
yyoks, you did die in battle
Wait,
by
how
yourself.
did you kill yourself? Did you just
By your own hand.
bite your own
Oh yeah, how
hand
did you
off?
want to kill yourself?
I'm just gonna hold my breath for 16 minutes.
You guys watch the old Sal, like the new Sal with the pink eyes, are just standing there as you just watch,
Wow.
and 60 minutes later,
Oh, so that's how.
boom,
Oh.
just hits the ground.
Sal, there's an easier way to do that.
No, there's the euphoria that happens with it.
It's like, it's that last little asphyxiation high where you're like, whoa, and you're just out, right?
Wow.
I
Uh,
guess.
Have you
Eh.
guys? I gotta ask, have you seen
okay.
In Space with
That was
Markiplier?
jokes.
No, I.
Realistically, when you
It's
pass
so
out,
good.
Yeah.
you're not
This is
breathing
kind of
enough,
like
you
the
start
same
breathing
thing we
again.
do with
So
this,
you
like,
wouldn't-
Would the other Sal
Die.
just like
It's the
smother?
other Sal, like, as the original, like, you just kind of put down, and
I
they're
just
just
like shake Sal's hand, and then just like let him choke me out.
and it looks like oddly weird of just like, again, the human, or I shouldn't say human brain, any brain or intelligence doesn't like, wait, there's two of you. It's that AI version of like, something's wrong with this
Uncanny
image.
Valley.
I shouldn't be seeing this happen.
Okay, time for each of you to go through with the plan that
Dude.
gets you killed.
Alright,
Well, I just
One
finished
of
making
us.
my hero
God,
force Sal, so now I have to
honestly.
change his eyes to pink.
See, that's big.
One of us.
You see Gyps Gibbon goes like, send me back in time a minute. Another Gibbon appears, goes up, and just like punches the old Gibbon. Give it nice, and then just kills him. All right, are we just killing ourselves now?
I don't think that was the
No.
point of this.
Oh shit. Okay, I misread the situation. He'll go back to flying. But now there's just dead Gibbon on the floor
I
now
just sort
too.
of like scooch the bodies over to
This is getting really
over
crowded
towards
here.
Taylor.
Hey, before we
I
get
want
into the
all of you
bodies-
looking at, you know, Lincoln Alfit would look us dead in the eyes and go, I'm just gonna set myself back, kill myself. Great, now we got my body. We need some more, right?
Wait,
That
Wait.
is something Lincoln would
But
do.
wait.
Lincoln, we miss you.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
if we do get all of our bodies,
Should I try to go back?
would Khan be
Connect.
expecting us?
No, he would not.
What do you mean?
Because we would have.
Because we're all dead.
If we're all dead, and
Well, but they're alternate timelines.
He doesn't know it.
I
does
mean,
not know that.
he might suspect, but he wouldn't know.
And again, the alternate timelines almost like reconverge when the other bodies come back. It's again, time also have to keep itself in of like, yes, this happened, but then we went back and just slurped
So
back
are
in.
we? So are we now in the timeline where Jumba is still alive?
Nope, that timeline is gone.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's very much it hurts the brain to think, but it's like there will only ever be one river, and it's like because it's the same river where Jumbo also never died, but then still it is the one where he didn't.
I have an idea.
So they just came to the exact location at the same time, knowing that our spaceship would be at that point in time.
And then kill us.
They actually, it's more or less what Sal and Black Oak, you now know. It's like you had to technically live through long enough to be like, we can now go back in time.
Okay, we're at the
In
right
time, like
start
I'm
age.
going back through the river to the point where we jumped.
Yeah.
But now we're here again, and so that the branch river is now looped back in, just reconverged. Erosion has brought it back in because, like, well, yeah, I mean, now it didn't happen, so.
I have an idea. There was a moment after my emotions were severed where I could have reconnected. Where I was able to talk with my emotions as if myself or another being. Should I try that?
To just tell yourself
We're
to
gonna get through
connect
this.
to your emotions.
Yes. Like, I was able to, after the whole debacle, I was able to talk with my emotions, and I still have the ability to connect back with it. I have
So
not.
instead of keeping yourself cut, it's like,
Like,
I would have done very much the spot. I have my
basically a timeout
emotions.
for my
I am
emotions,
just.
now we're back.
Now we're back. Try it? Okay.
So trying the timeout timeline.
The timeout timeline. Okay. I have to check a note on that. Okay.
Of just telling yourself before you go into the mix to allow yourself to reconnect.
Allow yourself to reconnect when you know the time is right.
Yeah.
What number was that?
7.
Gross. Is there any way that I could roll? Can we not
It's a
roll?
box of doom pure luck kind of thing.
So can we roll? In the box of doom.
Sucks to suck.
Sucks that.
Would guidance help the roll in any way?
Nope. It's the DM.
Well,
Val?
okay.
That's just you doing it in the past.
You come in. I will say, all you watch, a Val shows up, puts hand on your shoulder, mind melds. So this will be nonverbal then, because it's just going to be.
I mean, we can still play verbally, but like nobody hears this.
Well, yeah, no, but that's the thing. I think we'll keep it secret in case you need to use it.
In case if
Well,
I have to kill myself again.
well, exactly. It's or in case shenanigan happens.
Oh.
You hear what you will hear vocally is "Live long and prosper" from Val. Live long and prosper. As Val, you kill yourself. The timeline you went back.
Her throat
Just
is
live
live long.
It actually was you went back. You told yourself, but that past version of yourself was not ready to
Me in this
keep
state
the
is ready,
emotions
but
and
she
just
is not
it's
ready.
it's that time wanting to happen in the sense of okay, I did
Oh,
need
what
to like
happened?
cut my emotions for that time
That
because
would have been aboard the confidence, wouldn't it? Back when she
you
reconnected.
went crazy. It basically triggered. It was a domino effect of by you keeping your emotions, you lost your cool in some important battles, causing Onyx to actually take you down at one point. And so you had a less than consensual Kolinar, where you were brought to your parents. They're like, we're purging your emotions for you.
Oh, I don't want that.
No,
That was not great.
it was not a good timeline.
Okay. Connecting to the emotions of the past? Not a good idea.
We
Okay.
just need a Dahina and we've got a full set. But no, it is.
So,
I mean, do you have any ideas?
Nope.
I mean, we could use your body.
Dahina, while you say no, you get a ping on your communications pad.
Okay.
This is from your brother. All it says is one sentence. Is Taylor with you? I know. Huge question. I'm like, gosh.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna ignore it.
Should I? Wait. Let me think.
You're good. I'm making a roll, just seeing some other stuff. Yep. I didn't see what that was. So, yeah. Okay. You get this message. All of a sudden, ding, I have something to show you.
Can we make sure it's encrypted so they can't get anything from us? But we
Oh yeah, that's easy now. Of like, we can receive a message, but we won't send it back.
Like they can't find our location.
Incognito. We're gonna zoom, but I'm gonna turn off my
metaphorical
camera.
star IP address.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to have to deal with this. Wait, okay, what do I do?
I mean, technically, whatever you do, you could go back and then kill yourself and say you should not have done that.
That's actually a fair point. Like, in
I'm
case.
gonna say, what's up? Question mark.
What's up?
What's up?
You
You
bet.
up?
Is Taylor with you? Exclamation mark, question mark. Really want to show her something. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Oh.
I'll say this isn't a writer, it's the equivalent of like emphasizing this.
Okay, so
If this goes wrong,
determine that you're going to say yes, and that you're going to come back and kill yourself.
Should it all go to shit?
Should it all go to shit?
Alrighty.
You determine it. And we'll actually have to let that happen because that's your choice. If I can't tell you if it's up to will you think it's shit or not. So immediately no Dahina shows up, so it's like, okay, something immediate doesn't happen. Or rather eventually something doesn't go
Like
to shit.
something like
Something on the level of your three
Everyone's
timelines
dead
of everyone's
critical.
dead and we had to run away. It's that like, wow, what an awkward timeline to have to live through. Dahina, you make this decision. On the screen, you all see a Orion pirate. Very much in the not Tehela version of like pirate where she had like the hat, bandana, coat. This is
this
like
is the other Pokemon game. This is we get Dilf instead of Milf.
Yes, to the extent of, but more sci-fi
ironic,
pirate of
sorry.
like sharp shoulder vest that is like intensive, like that Kevlar pseudoforming, almost what like Sal had before it was like fastened into the helmet. Like wearing one of these, bandoliers of different like energy packs. You see someone you immediately spot like, okay, this has got to be Dahina's brother. Hello.
And Orion?
Right. Oh, no. He is an Andorian. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the youngest. Pyre.
The youngest isn't either one of
Wait.
those.
Did I get that all wrong? Oh,
It's in the original
shit.
text.
Haha, DM, you
No,
messed
it
up on
is.
your
It is.
story.
I
Oh, okay.
completely read that wrong.
yeah.
Andorian, though.
Okay.
Blue skin.
Still a Dilf.
Still a deal. There is enough, though, of like the facial bone feature structure is like, okay, we could see the resemblance.
Yo, listen.
But your brother Pyre shows up on screen.
Yes.
Is Taylor there? Hello. Oh, and whatever you peons are. Is this your crew?
I'm gonna like
Yes.
use my body as a
I'm
puppet.
going to.
Wait, who's this?
What the fuck? What are you doing over there? Where's Taylor? Taylor kind of like
Oh, she's over by the
It's a
bodies.
sex thing.
gets over like this.
My body already be gone.
Okay, can I
Yeah.
put words into our fellow PC's mouth?
No.
Can you please say it's a sex thing?
It's just a sex thing as Gibbon, like, kills himself again. No, Gibbon just... I really want to see how much...
To be fair, Sal did strangle himself to death.
Hmm.
So
As you guys
it's a
watch,
sex thing.
Taylor
It's
does
sexy.
look up. Pyre looks in this Andorian, blue skin. Hey! Oh, I heard you guys were on the run. Got quite a bounty. I have actually seen a couple wanted posters. Pretty proud of you. Good job, Dana. And pleasure to meet you all. Pyre. You see Pyre is that very sharp-jawed Andorian where, like, the hair that is that kind of classic, almost whitish gray is in that sharp cut, floof top, just, like, very windswept off to the
My
side.
skin is
That is
flushing the
literally
tiniest bit
exactly-
of green.
I made one of those pit crew things.
Yeah.
where You're describing
It's-
exactly what I made.
As just that piercing eye looks in, just like, I just wanted to say,
So it looks
That's
like
pretty
Lars, but
cool.
blue.
Yes.
but I couldn't help but notice. Now, call me crazy. Taylor, you had a ship. The Ravage, right? I thought word got around. Didn't you lose it to the fucking Federation? None of you see it, but Deanna, you can feel Taylor has that like hand on your shoulder that just slowly tied. Just yes, I did. Huh? Weird. Yeah, you lost it. What a surprise! And at this point, you see Datapad count kind of pulls back.
He's on your ship.
Zooms out.
In a docking bay, the Ravaged is sitting there.
Oh, so he's not on the ship. He's calling in.
Calling,
He's
kind of
calling
like
in to brag
at
that
a
he got
deal,
your
at a
ship.
car dealership, extent of
I
like,
just found your
look what I found.
car.
Like,
Yeah.
He got
crazy.
repossessed.
Huh? You know, I just bought it from some Federation dudes.
For how much?
Oh, pretty penny, let me tell
I'm
you.
gonna turn to Gibbon. and
Exact
just
number.
Can I have a snack?
Hell yeah, gotcha. He's just gonna hand you like a thick old rat king.
I'm gonna push that away and I point at the guy on the screen.
You're just like, nah, I fucking see it. Look at that. He's got a V down there. As you can tell, he
And
doesn't
I
have.
shake my head. I'm hungry.
Oh, like eat him,
Oh,
eat him.
eat him.
Yeah, no, we thought it was another sex thing.
I got very confused.
No.
Wait,
But now I'm hungry. Give him
Decide that you're gonna
cracker
do
rat.
it.
Decide that you're gonna do it.
I'm going to eat him.
Okay, that's something that'll have to happen. We'll see how it
Oh,
goes.
damn it.
Wait, how?
Oh
wait,
no,
does
no,
it
we're
have to happen?
in the potentiality.
You're in the potential. It's
Dang
like
it.
by deciding to do
Oh,
it.
by deciding to do it in the future, but setting ourselves back into
Oh.
the
Yeah.
past.
See, I was past this whole time travel stuff, and I thought we just decided
Oh.
this anything Sal wants, he gets.
Yeah, I will eat him, and suddenly he appears. Ah! And just you
I
eat him
know,
at this
yeah.
moment.
No, I was confused.
That's
there
something
for a
too
second.
shenanigan that we'll have to see how it plays out to see if it can come to effect.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't have to eat all of your siblings.
But you see, Pyre
but
just.
I don't have a great track record because I did try to eat Taylor.
Twice.
You're Taylor.
3
Wait,
times.
yeah, Taylor.
So the real question is,
my sister too.
This is Dahina.
what are you gonna pay me?
Time-
me for
So
how long?
You have.
Dahina.
I don't think I've ever said.
Oh
your
well,
name to
I've
you.
got
Say it.
what my sister's
No.
prized ship,
Dahina.
Uh-huh.
her crew, all her shit.
I mean, you don't
I'll-
own her crew.
I kind of do.
It's a slavery thing.
Federation.
It's a
I
slavery
paid a pretty penny for these guys. Look at them. You see again.
Definitely
Camera pans camera. You see a bunch of pirates walking onto the raft. He's like, I've outfitted myself and with your shit.
Can I put him on mute real quick?
You put him on mute.
So, I know I owe you
We're on mute
something.
too, cause so he can't hear us.
Oh well, you know, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
point.
This ain't like
Yeah,
the
so
school.
I owe you a thing.
Mhm.
We have the tritanium. How much do you think he's gonna ask for it?
You see, he's like mouth like some of you like reading the lips. I know you muted me, but fuck off. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go touch it. Like, just kind of being an ass on the
He's
street.
such a dick.
Such a dick. He is just this dick of a pirate. But you see, Taylor just,
What a
he's
great
going to
family I
break
have.
my bank and still not give me it. He's showboating. He's gloating.
If one of us goes back in time before he calls us and we take it from him, bidding wise.
That's the thing. I will let you know.
I mean, we haven't been there yet, so we wouldn't be able to be there to outbid him in the past.
And the bidding was done in. He won the bid and still, like, the bridge crew was the one. It's like they were the ones, like, when everything first went down, they didn't know that Pirate was your brother. Until he bought it. It was that, like, we need to just drop cargo and run, and, like, we can't hold on to this Orion ship and Cleon ship, but we need credits because everyone needs money. Like, you guys went to the arena, they were like, if we can just sell this at the Syndicate and run, it's possible, but it might be a hefty sum to outbid.
Like less than $1 million?
Or more than $1 million.
More.
So,
Like,
paid
the money-
over $1 million.
He paid over $1 million.
Sucker, I just steal ships.
Yeah, you fool! It sounds just
I
like
mean,
Wow,
just steal it.
what a
We could
pirate
just
paying
steal
for a ship
ships.
instead of stealing it. Oh.
and I kind of
Sure.
look at Taylor like, what kind of a pirate pays for a ship?
Smart ones. I mean, come on, like, the better the ship, you should pay for it, but not like. Okay, listen, time is money, so it's like, listen, are you going to spend money on a ship, or are you going to spend time? Like, I spent time on the Ravage. That was my.
What I'm insinuating is we steal it from him. Is the crew loyal to you or to your brother?
I'm gonna make just kind of a.
I mean, he did
Pure
just say they were
pure.
He just
slaves.
used them in the term of cargo.
Some of them I did kind of by myself, but a majority are from other jobs. If we could pay them more, they would for sure be loyal to me.
Right.
Let's say less
But
than
we
$1
don't
million more.
have-
If we steal the ship and pay the crew.
I know.
I have so many rats.
I take $1 million and I set it in a thing, and I'm like, I'm going to draw a smiley face on this money
We're gonna have to pay
and
it
send
back.
it back in time.
We're gonna have to pay it back. We now owe ourselves $1 million.
It's a bit of a loop paradox.
And I'm gonna do it.
Shenanigans. You send $1 million back. You now have, instead of $2 million, $3 million.
I love
I
the way
mean-
you said that in such a
Wait.
pretty tone.
I thought we only had $1 million.
Oh no. Well,
Because
you
we
had.
spent a lot.
Right, we
You
do
lost
have
$1 million,
to-
so you had 2. You lost $1 million
We-
because Taylor got it back.
And then
Because
we
of Potter.
lost $500,000 for the.
Oh, so you went from 1.5 to 3. Excuse me, I put my tongue awkwardly in my mouth.
I took all of the money and
I
then sent
think
it back.
my mind went, yeah. So you would have 3. So yes, 1.5, send it back, or you say so. You now have 3 million credits.
Now somebody stop me from sending this back.
I'm gonna put a gun to his head.
I'll
I'm gonna
just
eat the money.
No, you're not. I'm just
No,
gonna
we're
grab
not.
the money and
I
move it aside.
just start eating the Latin
I feel like I want a
crunchy.
dex check or something to see if.
No.
I actually
Get
just
the
made
money
a
out
pure
of
luck. Will time happen? I'm gonna say all y'all are like
I'm like,
shenanigan enough to be like, oops, I forgot to send it back. Like, I think that is utilizing time loss, kind of like Con probably did. Of like, okay,
Oops.
a version of me. It's the equivalent of Sal coming back with pink eyes. It's very cosmetic. Money is a complete construct. Like, Latinum is just, it looks
Money is a
good, and
construct
this
when
is
you
what
time
we
travel.
decided to make our credits system based off of. Like,
Okay.
sorry, that's a bit of like
Okay,
personal me
so-
coming in of like
Now-
money
I
construct.
totally
Thank you. I'm like,
Sorry.
why did money go back? Because
Sorry.
it's just shit. It's just objects. You want to take an object back? Sure. Like, this isn't the equivalent of a sentient creature. This is just hunks of metal.
Yeah, we could go back in time and just
launder
rob a bank.
so much.
You could
money.
launder money from yourself. Now, I will say,
Maybe not from ourselves. We should just maybe take from someone else.
Val, something you've gotten from the other crews, too much time travel is addictive. This is also part of their plan. Is Khan seems addicted to time travel in this sense of,
Right, because they said it like it's gonna be an intervention.
Well, yeah, you can launder money.
Congratulations, it's
It's-
an intervention.
like, I do
They're
not
calling it
condone
plagiarization.
doing this forever. but it's definitely necessary to get what we need to defeat Khan. I definitely do not plan to do this after Khan is gone.
Pyre has just held up an image, just like on the screen, just like, "Can you unmute me?" Question mark.
He's been on there for a while. I look at him and I go, "You can do this 3 more times. Any more, I will shoot you in the head." I don't know. I'm trying to basically this is Eleanor trying to say that do we need more than 3 million, or are we good where we're at?
I'll give him a little bit. That is already double what he paid.
Cool. Oh, so we paid 1.5 million. Okay.
It was like, well, because he also in buying the crew for the $500,000, the ship for $1 million, right? Like,
Also, I'm gonna unmute him and just fart into the microphone. And then mute it again.
like you watched him mouth.
Sorry. Okay. Side note. I just want to put this on stream. I love that of all of our groups, we are the Guardians of the Galaxy group. We are just the unhinged.
I have another
He'll
one
go-
brewing.
Which
I
we have enough. So we will not do it again.
if we need to, we will. Until we finish what we've started. But after that, we don't do it.
Okay.
But it's only when it's necessary, and this seems like a necessary thing.
It does. And
Okay.
we have double the amount.
And then I...
Shit.
What?
Unmute
Okay,
him.
you unmuted me, and there was noise. Was that an accident?
No.
No, we were talking without you.
Ripped one in the mic.
I ripped it again.
Nice. Yeah, you just always like, nice. Taylor, like, under her breath, starts, like, muttering some Falkers. You just, like, kind of... Pirates... So, what kind of money you drummed up? Because I could sell this back to you. I mean, I don't know. I kind of already have my own
I have
ships,
a lot
plural.
of rats.
Is that code?
Yeah.
Yep.
He just stares unblinking.
I want you to give me, this isn't a deception check, it's a persuasion check.
No,
Of just,
maybe
like...
intimidation, just the whole
I don't think it's intimidation, because we've yet to get, like, it's not
No,
intimidation.
it's not.
It's yet to become threatening. It's more just like, I have rats.
I
have rats.
Can you imagine if we just literally give him what he thinks to be money, but it's just
3.1
rats?
million rats. It's a shit ton of rats.
Just give him a triple.
No, we take the briefcases, and that's how we pull the heist. We just give him rats, and we keep all the money for ourselves.
I don't think he's
gonna.
Is that not one?
No.
Is that not 20?
Yeah.
So 21 persuasion.
I have rats.
I have lots of rats.
He does.
Okay,
Just no blinking. Just
cool. Are we talking, like...
rats.
Okay, well, you see, okay, kind of leads, again, mouths the word, what's the equivalency of credit to rat? And just hearing something, okay, how many rats you got?
We see the ship first. I'll bring the rats.
He, like, stop, pushes a head to the side, shows the chip behind him. Yeah?
In person.
Oh, fuck,
I
alright.
wanna touch it.
We have to inspect it to make sure
Listen.
nothing's been...
Wire me $500,000 of rats. Winks.
The ship and the crew?
Gonna beam him some live rats.
It's just a beam, 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 beam. You see, it's more like,
And I wanna then beam
Intimidation.
onto him.
what?
So it's
Onto
like, you know,
his body.
like with your sister while there's the rats on there.
I will say, he does have something currently right now that will prevent instant beaming. That is something he does have in the area of, like, let's have a more secure location. Just, if you wire me some credits, I'll send you my location and we'll talk.
We're
That
not
sounds like a
stupid.
pay
And I
to
put him
play.
on mute. So, sister.
Taylor, what?
We have a few options. We could pay him fair and square.
Or
I
pay
say
him
we
with rats.
give him...
You
we
know
pay
him better
with
than we
rats.
do.
We pay him $2,500. We'll get a location, and then we can either pay him with our laundered money or kill him.
We pay him with rats.
He will not give us the location unless we send him some form of cash.
I sent him over that.
Beam it on. just
And then
just right
I
like.
unmute. There's
It's
more
the
where
whole
that
time
came
from us.
from, and I wink, and I unmute.
After a moment, you see he looks over. Someone brings a rat on screen. And just. I have a question. Please unmute me.
I'll unmute.
So wait, that you were fucking sick. These are rats.
It's
I have
inside.
lots
Okay.
of
I
rats.
fed the rat one of the cards.
You no, I love that. It's like the rat transfer was inside the rat.
The rat.
He just like
Like, you know,
It's
hands
The
inside.
rat is the bag. Bag of rats and the rat.
the rat has become the bag.
The
Prophecy is true.
He takes the rat, like takes
Inside.
like quick flicks out a knife.
I avert
Yeah.
Tenmer's eyes. There we go.
Holy fuck! It's a fucking cool party trick.
Rats.
He got rats. All right.
Lots of
You see, he puts a quick arm data pad, kind of like Taylor used to have. Okay,
I
$250,000.
love the data pad on the arm because it just reminds me of Buzz Lightyear.
It's a very Buzz Light.
Yeah.
Because again, Taylor looks like that. Wow, this is a 1800 swashbuckling pirate, but in space. Like pirate is like, oh yeah, that's an Andorian pirate from Star Trek. Like that looks like sci-fi. He. All right, send your location. Let's talk. Sends off. At this moment, you get the location. Sal, you're going to get another little message. Having sent your body to the Gorn.
Yes.
The message you get back is this from your mother. It is an invitation to have a channel open. It's that like the equivalent of join my Zoom room, right? Like, hey, I'm sending you this message, but also I'm attaching a link. Sal, this is rather serious. We have received your body. But you are the one that sent your body.
Yeah.
You get the little invitation, let's chat. You're like, appearing on the screen, a Gorn that to the trained eye, it's like, okay, we see the resemblance. Sal and his mother, very similar ridge
She's
on
a
the head.
Giant woman.
Giant, truly. Like, gibbon size. You see, though, your mom.
My dad's tiny. I get that from her.
It's genes are very different in the Gorn. Again, when you're talking like a human, like, oh, what's dominant recessive? Gorn is just more like dominant gene equals who's better anyway. Like that's how you pass it down. Of like, well, I'm better at this. So, sending you see your mother, Sal, you are alive.
Yes.
Holds up your dead body, but you are dead.
You heard of Schrodinger?
No.
Never mind.
Okay,
Neither have I.
who's volunteering? We have an open channel. We have a video feed.
Oh,
We
video.
can just show.
Show what?
Oh, we take a rat. Basically, we're showing her the.
Why are you showing us food?
No, I go over and I send myself back.
Ah, clever. You come back in. Kale's piece of shit. You see,
Is that your code word?
Time travel is real, and Khan.
Has been doing it and seeks to undo the entire galaxy.
Oi, let me roleplay with my mom.
I go to the other room now.
it's just
I
to
just,
the
like-
corner of
Like
the little
very in a
transport.
Vulcan way, like speak
But your mom-
faster, or I'm going to wring my own eyes out.
This is Val's personal crucible watching Duke Gorndog.
I walk Val away.
You are
Toss another one of my body on the pile.
time traveling.
Yeah.
This is very, very confusing. So is this Sal?
Yes.
But you are Sal.
Yes.
So I can eat this Sal.
Yeah, you can eat it.
Slowly brings up, starts eating your old body.
I don't like watching that.
This is why you were banished. You were weak in our eyes. You chose only to eat small mammalians.
Fair enough.
Didn't you eat like 7 people's heads?
I did.
Oh yeah, no, he's been ripping off people's heads. I say from the corner.
So larger mammalians.
This is
Still
better.
worried about eating lizards though. Feels weird.
But this is
It's a texture
life.
thing.
The universe. We
What's a
eat.
texture thing?
So Ellen,
This whole time, Sal's been banished because of just, hey,
Texture.
listen, I am not neurotypical. I do not like the texture of this food. And your parent goes, get out of my house. Get the fuck out. Until you're gonna sit here and eat the tacos your mother made, you're out of my house. It's like, what the fuck? This is the equivalent. No, I love this.
I don't
Sal,
like the texture
I
of
like
tacos.
You're gonna talk back to me? No, that's it, okay? Until you can eat a damn taco.
what is a texture?
It's tilapia. It's good. Your mother spent all day making these.
Speaking from experience, August.
Sorry, you said the word
Listen,
tilapia,
okay,
like,
I've
memories
had
flood
these
back.
experiences where I have lost the ability to do things because as a child, no one believed me when it's like, listen, zucchini tastes fucking gross and the texture's awful.
Oh,
And
exactly.
I cannot,
Me,
to this
me.
day,
Zucchini and squash.
decades
Gross.
later, I
literally
try to
been
like it, I
diagnosed
try
with
to eat it,
picky
I
eating disorder.
can't
Like,
eat it.
for
It
real.
just tastes bad to
It's
me.
me and turnips.
Same.
Yeah, no, it's
Dude.
like
I
that's
had-
the thing. Everyone has different taste buds.
I had
And
to
so
sit at a
your
table
mom just
for
you
hours
will soon learn to eat our kind.
until I finished a plate
All
of
must
shrimp.
learn.
Oh,
And all I had
that
to-
is
But
such
you
a
have
big
taken
move.
steps
Okay.
along the right path.
Yeah. We need your help eating a really bad person.
Mm.
And I mean, it would probably taste pretty good. Because I feel like I really earned it, you know.
This is true.
But his name's Khan. And he's really bad.
We have heard of this con.
Yeah, so
It is why our ship has been in warp for many, 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 many cycles.
I send a rat her way with the coordinates inside.
Here's to the hollow planet, everything. CJ, excellent.
Did she take off the tag?
No.
I send another one with the coordinates on the outside.
Zoo.
Take off the tag?
Then eat the
There's no tag on it. It's
There's
just,
no tag?
Just like
We have great
write it.
Painted on the rat!
yeah.
We stop full acrylics again on a squirming live rat of just like okay. Galactic 0.289 north, south 8. Like putting these coordinates. Said it, your mother takes it. I have memorized it.
Your mom's great, man.
We will see each other in battle. You will learn.
I'll eat your body if you die.
This, and you see a single tear, was all I ever wanted of you. And then you can, if he
Opal has a
draws.
single tier too.
Opal. Man,
It's beautiful.
I have
I
tears
wish
on
I could have
my-
eaten my mom's body, but I think
My
I
eyes aren't
just
supposed
am.
to be doing this.
It's like
Why is
I
this
would want to eat my
Really
mom, but-
beautiful.
Speaking of, I'm
Yes.
supposed to get like
There's water coming out,
Um,
but I'm not.
Rigel 7 is fast approaching,
Rigel.
where you know
Fucking
Rigel, fucking Rigel. Boom. As you enter the system, coordinates that were given to you by pilot, excuse me, are easily accessible. A floating space station off of the planet itself has many different hangars. Technically, these are all just, it's a simple station and port, but Rigel 7 is the home of the Syndicate. Orions and any of their crew are every which way here, bartering, trading, selling everything from weapons to species to drugs to you name it.
Titanium?
Not in its raw form though. This is like we've got alloy. Like, hey, we just killed and plundered a bunch of people and got their ships whole, which is titanium alloy plating. That stuff. That's why it was so hard to find titanium because it's like normally in its raw form you would need to find a planet to mine it from or go to a mining facility and
We
brew
just
it
got
off.
super rare.
Heading to one of these large circling stations, again, almost very ice cream cone-esque with large bulbous domes, subtle spine down. Heading in, you find the station that was sent in the coordinates, and as you approach, realize the bay doors are currently sealed shut. As you approach, you get a communication, though, coming from inside.
Bitch isn't gonna open the door until we send him more money, is he?
See, Taylor,
It's a pay to play.
that's what I would do. Communication opens power. Just
Another rat.
you're here. Oh, we got something. This time, quick. He was ready with it.
There was nothing in that one.
Snap.
Just intros.
You got impatient.
Holds up a just now bloody rat, disemboweled rat.
That one was a joke.
No, that was on the house.
Oh, that one's food.
Oh, sorry. I filled up on normal food for my species before we
what a waste.
listen, just send me another quarter mil.
Fine, we don't have to do it in a rat this time.
You
don't
can
wanna waste all your food.
you can send just a normal transfer. He
We sent him $500,000 at this
come
point.
on in.
I send telepathy, like telekinetically. We send him $500,000 at this point, correct?
Yes, total. You have sent $500,000.
So if he makes us poor that pay more than $1.5 million, that is when we know we are being scammed.
Doors open, and what you realize is yes, this is a hangar bay
He will
of
want to
his
make a
make.
profit.
Oh,
Like-
I know.
Pyre has put a lot of time and money into making a little base for himself here, so you can't just instantly beam out. Technically, the money you're sending is going through some channels of we send it here, who sends it here, who sends it here, who I trust this person to get my money for me. Doors open up. Shagrat's given help lands you down inside this big old grand docking bay. The Ravaged is inside, as well as a lot of other ships. You will note Pyre has a little armada to himself, none of which are as big as the Ravage. The Ravage is a quite impressive repurposed ship, but his fleet does look pretty well outfitted. You can tell they're meant for speed, firepower, in and out missions. Yeah, they're not the tankiest, but they're great for pirating and plundering.
Mhm.
Upon approach, you see Pyre is walking up. He's got just like two different Orions on either side of him. Is currently walking up to the Shagarats. As you all, door slides open, stepping out. Hands out reach. You realize while he's not as tall as like Taylor, that kind of like height, he is very well toned. Right? It is that like he's not like that. Oh, he's just he is like very built, that wiry like, and his eyes even allude to the fact you think at a moment's notice he could do a double flip and be on top of your ship. He is very dexterous, ready to roll. Hey! Bring it in. Taylor doesn't move. You just.
I sent
All right. All right. Listen. So, you here to make a deal? I have for you your ship. Looks at Taylor, gestures towards the Ravage. How much you want for it? And this is where you guys can also chime in, because Taylor,
I touch it.
you go and touch it. It's not like it's cold right now. It's been sitting out.
I just say two.
All right. Two's pretty good, but three's even better.
I told telekinetically tell everyone who's trying to make double. We are not going to give him all of our resources.
Whoever wants to, you can make a persuasion to do like we've done before, bartering checks of like.
My persuasion is not good.
Who has the
Mine
highest
is
persuasion?
Neither's Gibbons.
My persuasion is a +1.
So is mine.
Plus 4.
Okay.
Lot better than me.
All right.
So if anybody wants to give me the help
Oh, yeah.
action and-
I'll say Dahina and Taylor can be giving you the help action of like, well, like, as like you and your sister can be like, you'll be the one
Guidance.
talking, but like
Yeah.
we're the guidance coming in.
I just become a guidance
3.
machine.
It's a helpful cantrip of like,
More than that to me.
you're more than guidance, Val. You can do things more than.
Why are my eyes giving out liquid? No.
So,
You talk with
A
inflection.
3.
Mhm.
and then I got a 17 plus 4
24,
plus 4, so 28.
28. And I'll make a roll. That was a natural 1. What price do you want to set?
I want.
1.5 with everything.
I will. What price if obviously, if you try to give him exactly what he bought, that's a no-go.
Oh, and 1 coin more.
Well, yeah.
1.6.
2.
2. All right. 2 million, and I need a little bit of begging from my favorite sisters.
No.
You see Taylor immediately reaches for like a gun. She realizes she doesn't have. Someone give me a gun. Someone give me a gun. Just,
2, no begging.
oh, you're no fun. Why you let him
Sal's stomach starts grumbling.
All right, big guy, easy. And as he does so, you watch he kind of like tilts his head. Sal, you look up. There's a couple snipers on like some of the higher levels up in here. Just we don't want to get hungry. I'll treat you to dinner after this. Come on, I'm not a dick. I'm just a pirate.
1.8.
How about this? 2.25
No.
because then I'll
We've
actually.
already sent you
A quarter
half
of a million.
a
Half
mil.
$1 million.
Yeah, that's to get my presents, right? Listen. Yeah, I gotta make a living. I'll give you the ship, and for an extra 0.25, I'll throw in the crew. Oh, you didn't think that was already included, right?
The crew was only 5.
Yeah, bargain.
Mm.
It's out as he still is, getting a beggar profit. And you notice the reason he's not pushing the begging, it is still that, like, Taylor is sitting here completely no weapons. She's not cuffed, but it's that, like, this is already kind of what he wanted of, like, it's a power play. It's a sibling thing of, like, oops, I got the car, want it back, like.
Oh, you have the car and we have the power to travel through time and space.
Are you gonna say that to
No,
him?
no,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
I know. Kill him! We're gonna go! Woo! Fuck it! We'll travel through time!
No. But,
He go-
but that's kind of the vibe. It's like, I have
2.25.
your car. And it's like, and? You know.
2.25. Give him a really good job.
Sal just doesn't understand why we need the ship back, but...
This would give you, it's basically bringing it to the finale of, like, we then have a cool warship.
Oh.
Like, the Shagarats is cool. Khan's
But,
got
we
every
also
ship
have
in the
a
Federation technically at his disposal. We would have our own really cool ship to use.
Gotcha.
It'd be really helpful.
It'd be really nice to have a ship.
Why does Taylor need her ship back so bad? We have a ship.
It's but Taylor's ours in the extent of like we're keeping her locked in, so she's got a ship, but then we have the ship. 2.25.
2.2.
200. This is where the nat one's really going to come into effect. We got a deal. And hey, I wasn't kidding. You want food, big guy? Kind of like flicks ahead immediately out of one of these rooms. Food starts getting brought out. Different cuisines from across the galaxy. For Gordon
I
just
sent
sometimes
to our
some
entire
animals.
group,
Mentally.
via mind. Money means nothing.
Mhm.
Actually.
Oh yeah, like technically at the moment you can just
It
launder
can be
money.
very infuriating.
It's just a power
But
thing.
we can make it back.
No, I'm just
I'm
gonna
not
be
worried
like,
about money.
I'll go grab it, and then I like shut the Shagarats, and then I go copy a mill.
Yeah, do a
Hide it
quick
away.
like I will send myself $1 million back. Thank you.
And then I hide that away. I'm just like,
Keep a mill for ourselves, but we're paying.
literally just in case, and then everything else that he didn't take.
So now we have 1,008,800.
You have 1.8 million credits
Okay.
in Latinum, which can be easily transferred. He's gonna feed you guys again. It's not like his thing is like you have to come to me to get your ship back, and that's kind of what he wanted all along. Wasn't really about the ship. It was just about the like, oh, I'm the better pirate is the unspoken thing, which
Gotcha.
Taylor hates.
But
And it
the
sounds
money
like
is
he's
not
blocking
being
something.
wired until we were like ready to.
Oh yeah, no, like that's pirate that honor amongst thieves. Like, oh yeah, if you're gonna pay me, I'm not gonna be a dick about it and be like, haha, I'll just take it now.
Safe away, yeah.
Well, it's like he'll let you on the ship, then give you the money, because then even if it's a firefight, everyone's got what they want.
And I mean, like, even if once we're on the ship, he still has the doors
Mhm.
of just being like.
Well, but it's like, but then you're still on the ship, you just blasted way out, like, and he probably wouldn't do that because again, like, this
Those
is
are
his hangar,
perfectly
his
fine doors.
stuff is.
Perfectly fine.
He doesn't want you to ruin his shit. Chat saying, what? Honor among thieves? In my D&D?
In my D&D
in my
campaign, honor amongst thieves. In my D&D.
As you guys get the ship, here's what I will say. You've got the ship, you have the coordinates, where to go. Is there anything else that you guys want to try? You know, Sal's talked to his mother and bringing the Gorn.
I want to send a note to Garth.
Garth is on the Confidence. Yeah.
I want to send him the little picture of the rat.
You sent a picture of the... Yeah.
Yeah.
You send him that picture.
Garth is cool.
You get back. Are you coming to the rendezvous? ? I don't know if I should be breaking radio silence, but I have to know.
I'll just send back a winky face.
On the butt of the rat.
On
Just
the
like
butt.
you draw it
Oh,
on
wait,
the
your
rat.
face on the rat.
That's perfect.
I gotta
Rats
ask.
just
You
start
have
canvases.
There's
the
still this
Gorn
problem.
ship. The Gorn ship is almost space station size. It is a big ship to be bringing, which is going to help.
Mhm.
You've got the Ravish, which is a fast ship that you guys can then be in command of, heading around this battle.
Which one of us is going to command the Ravage?
It's,
Oh, you and your sister.
it's you and Taylor could take command, or it's that do we trust Taylor enough to just
No!
Yeah, sorry, I had to
Do
say
we
it.
trust it?
Do we trust Taylor?
No, we don't.
It's that if you and Taylor are on the ship,
It's like
that
the
gives you
audio, like,
someone running
Are
the
you
ship
ashamed of
where
us? Very.
like
Do you
Sal,
trust-
your mom
Very.
is probably going to be able to give you a personal fighter for the battle. Again, if she's bringing the stuff, you've got your own. Dahina, you can stay on the ship with Taylor on the Ravage, because also you know how to run the ship. You're going to have ease of access to do that. Yes.
I just had a question. Because we have our D&D world logic, and we have our Star Trek world logic.
Yeah.
If someone uses Revivify on one of those deadified bodies,
That was kind of what I was getting to. Because I have
So-
Revivify.
There is something to do with this. Technically, it's been a minute for these specific bodies.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's a.
but if I go back, Gibbon style, and just go back a minute.
It's eventually you're reaching into what Black Opal said. Where Black Opal is like, why is there not an army of me that I can just use? Because eventually it will lead down that path of, well, if I just bring 100 of my own bodies back but kill myself, eventually I won't have mental capacity, or one of me will make
so
a
it's
choice
like my
to change.
consciousness splits.
It's a conscious split, and because what's going to stop a Revivify you being like, oh, do I want to die again? Right? Because they've got free will. It's like they're
That
not
wasn't
robots.
pleasant.
They're not like you. It is you, so they can make their own choice. So it's that danger of we don't want them back, but it's a dangerous game.
I could go back to basically within 10 minutes of your mother's death, bring her back.
I mean, we don't have
Because
to
there's
do
still
that.
D&D. Yeah.
I mean,
But that's not what I would have the question about.
oh,
It's what Sal was insinuating. It's like, if you want to do it, it's a very dangerous game. I have stuff for how it could work. Just keep in mind, if it blows up big. Because it's a whole different PC. That's you. That has its own. What do you want to do with it? It's why Khan's like, I don't want to risk another me. Yes. Go.
So, the one thing that I don't think we've addressed yet is that in his Great Villain speech, I don't know if it was, I can't remember which member, or if it was two of us, the fact that Khan says, and I kill you by my own hand. That was in his speech, that it's like, I
Where
watch
did
the
he
life
say all
drain
this?
from your eyes, and I will kill
This was back
this person.
right after Strike Team. You got Sal
down
back.
Area 51.
it was given.
It was
Or-
right.
no,
Gibbon. I will kill Gibbon by my own hand.
I will kill Gibbon by my own hand. So it was only Gibbon, and then the rest of us die in not conspicuous, but it could be by our own hand. It's only Gibbon's that has to be done by Khan's hand. So I
But-
have a Revivify ready on Gibbon.
Have you changed the feature enough yet? That's what I will say, and there's no way to know that until things shake out.
But
Khan was telling you guys have pulled a lot of shenanery in the past. I mean, you didn't go to Raj 7, you did die at Raj 7. Your bodies are all here, right? Well, except for him. But again, he didn't say everyone, just that your party was fated to die here. It's what Taylor had heard. Technically, you might have changed the future, but there's no way to know.
Is there a way to test it?
Do you want me to leave the
To know?
body here?
You might. It'd be safe, right? Because then it really does fulfill that whole, technically we all did die at the Syndicate.
Yeah, I should probably
It's safe.
do it in the.
Do we have to go?
We'll
all
give you some
kill ourselves
privacy,
again?
you know, to kill yourself.
Yes, please. I would like some privacy.
So that one will happen behind closed doors. Clever. But it will happen so you know it's you. And it's a strange sensation, Tahina, where you do kill yourself, but you're both the one dying and realizing, but I am the original. As I sent myself back, do this information.
Weird. Time travel hurts my brain.
Oh, it's hurt my brain this whole campaign. Again, I have to keep careful notes. I'm like, okay, this would be a divergent point if things happen.
Is true.
Yeah.
But I do want to try and find out where or why Khan was saying that my mother is forced back into me here. Because
By your own hand.
I don't know.
Make me an insight check.
I can help.
Yeah, Sal's got that
So
proficiency.
you have
Yeah.
advantage.
Guidance.
Advantage. Yep. So one was a 9 and the other was an 18.
Mhm.
Is this an insight?
Mhm.
18 plus 2, 25.
Oh, I know how it's gonna
That
work,
beats
I
the
think.
DC exactly.
Yay.
Black Opal, you've done a lot of key shenanigans. All of you have. You did not go to the Syndicate first, but that's not always the key thing. Like, just saying, oh, I don't want to do something could still cause things to still happen. You went to the Imperium. You fought in the Skull Arena, not once, but twice. Went, pulled shenanigans, figure out time travel.
Vomited in each other's mouths.
Vomited in mouths. You think you did the right amount of shenanigans to stop that future. Just as it's the equivalent of just as much as I send myself back in time to stop myself from doing a plan, you can change the future by living in the present.
But
Hey, that's kind
am
of
I able
real?
to?
Literally, yeah.
The real lesson.
Well, no, it's that's one of those.
Roll credits!
Roll credits, and that's the session for tonight. It kind of is we will pick this up.
But me wanting to know was if I could find the data
What? On the 25,
that has my mother.
is that would have happened in the other timeline, in like, or a very meta, the encounter I had set up of if we had gotten to Rigel 7 before the future had too much had happened for everyone.
Can I do one last thing? I want to make the insight check of all insight checks. I want to insight on myself because you said as I went through that timeline, I realized that Val was not ready for her
What's it do?
emotions. Am I ready for my emotions?
Hat back.
No way. I have a to insight. Or is it gonna be luck?
It's insight.
Okay.
It's insight in yourself.
That is going to be a +3.
Let's be the last roll of the night.
With no proficiency.
Because again, from here, it's let's head to the crew. I mean, confidence up.
Can I help on the
As-
inside check?
You can offer advantage. It's because Sal's got it.
I've got proficiency with insight.
Here we go.
What was it?
Yeah, you did that way too aggressive.
This is Box of Doom.
Please
Right, yeah, you gotta respect the Box of Doom. You gotta love the dice. You gotta love the box. It's a respect thing. You saw what happened to Beardsley. They rolled a fucking hat in their Box of Doom. That's rude.
Beardsley
I
is
don't
going to
wanna
be
disrespect
cursed.
you.
I think
Last
that's a
one.
curse. That's an actual
Look
curse.
at me in my eyes. I don't want to disrespect you. I just looked away because that's what normally works.
Here we go.
okay?
Ready?
I'm looking you dead in the eyes. And I got a +3, baby. That's a synth 20.
Synth 20.
Yo.
Hey yo.
Okay.
On a synth 20,
Respect the pouch.
Val,
Respect it!
you could trigger something in combat. You don't know how long it could take, but you think you're ready. Ready doesn't mean it's easy.
No.
But I think all of you, it's you are ready to try to fight a time-traveling madman. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you all so much for playing. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you all
How
one
much
last
strike
time.
do we have left
Bye-bye.
with all of our?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. How much